eclectic method.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Until their client either buys or fucking
sober. Fucking sucks. Boring, right? So boring. I want to kill myself.
Fairy dust. It doesn't exist. It's never landed. It is no matter. It's not on the elemental chart. It's not fucking real.
YouTube, Facebook, video, SoundCloud, Twitch, Instagram.
Good morning, you beautiful idiots. Can you guys hear us?
G.
Say GM if you can hear us.
GM.
We're checking. I'm checking. How about now? We good? We good?
I can hear you.
I hear you guys. Do you guys hear me?
I hear you.
We did it. We fucking did it. That intro throws me for a loop every time. There's like a really specific setting for it. Starting to get it. Starting to get it, boys. Starting to get it. Here is a wizard this morning.
Oh, geez,
you guys
dude,
hear some beautiful Kongs.
I didn't even see that you were wearing that. I understand why, but yeah, good morning, sir.
Good morning. Yeah, dude. You know what? Like, the deeper I get in that Taproot wizard, like Discord and ecosystem, the more wizard I'm becoming. I think it's just like the natural evolution over there. So we'll get into Quantum Cats today because that is easily the biggest thing coming in the next few days. And fuck, I'm so pumped, man. Like, I think I got 2 whitelists. I did not get the third I was hoping for, but again, we'll get into that stuff. How are you guys doing, man? How was the week?
Busy. Yeah, good week, man. Like, good week. Everything's going to zero, but it was a good week. No, it was busy. We obviously lots more working on behind the scenes on the project end, but like all in all, was a good week. Didn't get to degen as much as the last week, although I did get into Zokyo, which not sure that I am happy that I did that. But yeah, great week. Happy to be here on a Saturday with you guys with Draco. It's great to see Draco.
Freaking Draco. Yeah, I wasn't expecting him to join, but I like always hoping he can. I told him always open door for that too. We may get Cats joining here. Hoping to get Biggie on here. I am trying to keep the guest list smaller. As much as I like absolutely loved a couple of weeks ago, we had like 9 people up here. Little too like maybe a little too hard to manage that, but also keep a show in like an hour, right around an hour. So I'm gonna try to keep it to like 3 guests, maybe 4. Some days I think just a total free for all, and a day like 9 people works. But for now, just want to feel it out with a smaller crew here. Cats, though, if you're watching, just like on standby, if you don't mind, I may very well be bringing you up here shortly.
I feel like that 9-person space must have been fun, though.
It was pretty damn cool. We had English, me, Henry, Cats, Moisty, Johan from Crypto Slam. Shoot, who else did we? It was a big one. It was easily our biggest show. Did good for views too, like really well. So I thought it was pretty damn cool. Draco, your week. Quick TLDR, man.
It was good, man. In real life is busy, but I'm heavily focused on just maintaining my my farms and airdrop farming. I didn't degen as much from the NFT side of things, but it was a good week, man. You know.
We're gonna get into tokens, which I'm glad you're here then, because I don't touch it. Like I wish I was into that side. I want to be, but I don't like. I get bad alpha. I get late alpha, so I don't get in anything early enough to like get wins over there. Luckily, airdrop season, like some of them, you win from doing nothing. Like when Frame comes out, I might have a win there just from being active over the past few years. And the same with Rainbow. If and whenever that happens, same deal. But stuff like the when drop from Jupiter. And, even if they're launching a Jupe token, like I have no exposure to it. I get none of it because I didn't farm. Sucks.
But even if you did, like, wasn't the when drop like Draco $20 to $50, give or take?
Yeah, it was like $50, but it's already at like 90 or 100.
Okay, this is by the way, I don't, you know what my bags look like. I'm not Coco. It's hard for me to put energy into anything that I'm going to expect $50 to turn into 90 or 100. Unless you're doing like such a multitude of wallets that it makes sense. I'm just like, how much time? I realized with that you just had to use Jupiter, right? Was it just you just had to do some swaps on it, or was it like you actually had to farm to be able to get?
I think it was just having the wallet with like some soul in there or something. Like guys I know had like 6 wallets that qualified, so maybe at that point it's worth it. But
yeah, it's just for users on the chain. So like if you bought any NFTs or used Jupe in like 6 months, you just got rewarded, and it's just a meme coin. So like just think of it as if MetaMask came out with Meta and just airdropped you with tokens for just using their wallet. It's like their meme coin before their actual coin to drop. And the reason why I held it is because Mock Jupe did like 100x. So it was pretty hyped. So I figured like, even though it's burgers, usually the best stuff tends to moon that you're not expecting a high return for usually.
Yeah. Plus you've been messing around on Solana for a bit. So you probably had more than one wallet. Yeah. Did you say if you just bought NFTs, you qualified? Or it was just using Jupe?
Well, that's for Frame. So for Jupe, I think it was actually using the exchange. I don't think could be wrong. I think had nothing to do with NFTs. But guys, we'll get into the tokens, like more nuanced stuff like we're talking now. We'll talk the Magic Eden, airdrop, rewards, DAO, wallet, frickin' everything those guys are doing. They're about to dominate the NFT marketplace wars. I really do. I think Blur's got a little competition on their hands. But we'll kick it off the way we do. We will dive into the market first. Looking here at the Forecast 500. Anyone not aware, this is it's easy. Measures the value of the NFT market, which has not been great. And especially over the past 2, 3, 4 weeks, actually probably more like 6 weeks now, we've been on a steady decline. So the index again showing value declining. And it looks the same if you go back 7 days. It looks even worse if you go back 30 days. Now, the 60-day for me is kind of the most telling. We had that fantastic December, right? It was, it was a special month and had us all pretty damn pumped for what was coming early this year, which I still think is coming, by the way. At least I'm hopeful. But Up only 2% in the past 60 days means we've erased basically all those gains from the past couple months here. So that December run, it poof, evaporated, right? I don't know what that means for us for right now. I don't know. And again, we'll get a little deeper in this topic of where the market's at and where it's going and why it's doing what it's doing now. But I guess the early spoiler, the early TLDR, man, people just waiting for some liquidity. And I think we're about to head into that season. And that's where the airdrop talk will come into play here. Some numbers, maybe a little more specific to give you an idea of where we're at. Really treading water here around the $30 million mark. That's cross-chain NFT sales. A few days ago, though, 28 mil, our lowest single day of sales in 55 days at that point. So luckily we haven't fallen further than that, but again, not great for January, which is typically a hyper crazy month, like just absolutely normally lights out ballistic, and we're not there. Truthfully, don't know that we'll get there. I do think at some point this year, so we'll see on that. But the weekly view. Now, our numbers here, the data period closes out Sunday. It's like 7 p.m. Eastern time, and then we'll have the completed week here to compare. But it looks like we're going to have our 6th consecutive week of declines here. So since like the 2nd week of December, which was our peak of, was that maybe our second best week of the year last year? It was something like that. But as you can see, just declining week after week after week ever since then. This week, no exception, and much, much lower than last week. So again, not in a great place. What I think kind of highlights where we're at, what kind of ties it together, trade profits. And I say this all the time. If people aren't winning, people aren't going to be playing. And right now the profits aren't there. So, unless people are making money, unless they're flipping into profits, they're not going to keep rolling the dice on other things. Zokyo that you mentioned just before, Henry, that I was using as my barometer. Like if people mint that and it does well, maybe we're back. Maybe that gives me a little hope for right now, but it was the perfect example. It's even. The mint price was 0.08. Secondary price was 0.08. Sums up the market right now. You're not going to win many places at the moment. So I think I expect this throttling back to continue here. And general thoughts on the market, guys? Like, how do you feel about where we're at? Are you content with it? Or like me, were you expecting us to be absolutely cooking right now?
Yeah, I don't want to cut Draco off. I'm sure he's got some great thoughts there. So I guess I'll just jump in. I think this is kind of what we need to get settled into expecting from the Web3 market in general. Like you're going to get these 6-week periods where things are running. There's euphoria, token airdrops, mints going crazy, 2x, 3x, whatever x, and then you're going to get a pullback. And I think that this is the market. I don't think we're going to have, and of course could be wrong, I don't know that we're going to have like the 21, 22 vibes of getting 6, 9 months, a year of euphoria. Because even in that period, we had some pullbacks. Remember, like January 21 was great. And then by March, I was selling like art blocks for like under mid price, which was stupid. So like, I just think that this is kind of what things are. And I think we got to, if you're trading, I think you just have to recognize like what your game plan is, stick to it, and know that during those runs, take whatever profits you can on the things you're degenning on, and then during these moments here, you're doing like what Drake was talking about. You're farming and you're getting ready for the next run. That's my take on that.
Dude, funny point too about art blocks. I see people talking about more and more now that like, dude, curated drops aren't selling out. Like some of them not even coming close. I don't know what that says about the art market. I think that's more just the broader market and people just like we were saying, just throttling back. But that's not often you see those curated drops not fly. So yeah, just those different things I use, as that barometer, feel out, what's pushing and what's pulling and where we're at. And man, maybe art has a double whammy that we had our art cycle. Right now, it clearly seems that we had swung back to PFPs, right? So market down, the market cycling to PFPs, not good for art at the moment. But, and this part's cool, and we'll get to this part too in a little segment, but art on Solana and art on Bitcoin, I think it's a different story there. So I'm looking forward to getting into that part specifically. Draco, thoughts on the market?
Yeah, no, I kind of have the same thoughts as Henry, and I'm actually kind of bullish because if you look at it, like we had it's been up only from the crypto sector in like all of 23, but then like we've had a nice run here. And if you look at it, I think the market needs a cool down. Like there's been some clear winners over the past couple months. But I also think that now it's a little bit different because now you have basically three different types of marketplaces between ordinals, Ethereum, and then Solana. Specifically, ETHMint's had its time with the Web3 gaming free mint meta. However, there have been some cooks. Say has been cooking like every single mint there from the WeBump platform, which I've been watching on the sidelines. I have some of the token itself, but I didn't jump in right away. But like they've been seeing like tons of cooks. I mean, we're coming off of like CU, which was a really good cook. And typically like when there's like a big mint, I feel like we see like a cool off in general. But yeah, art, like you mentioned on Solana, you saw rubber mint for like 0.25 all the way to 14 Sol. So I think right now it's maybe ETH is just taking a time to like cool down before some like upcoming mints. But I mean, Say's been like pretty much the one that's been cooking. I think so. We're starting to see like liquidity move around from each chain. That's what I'm seeing. But
Dude.
I think it's bullish all around to like reset some long-term positions and getting good entries. So I don't mind the blood.
Freaking fantastic take. I'm totally with you. I think this is good and healthy. And man, if we're treading water around 30 mil, let's say 30 million in sales daily, just think that at the absolute darkest part of the bear market, it was like October, I think it was October 9th, 8th, something like that. We did just 8 million in total cross-chain sales. So we've come a long way from that. And so 30 million in context, we're still looking pretty darn good. By the way, that rubber mint, I wish I got it. And I'll tell you what, I'm actually still considering grabbing one on secondary. They hit almost as high as 20 Sol. Right now they're at like 17 and a half. But I'm watching for the grails on each chain, right? Like I never collected art on Solana because I didn't have a belief in that ecosystem. It didn't feel like it was as permanent as Ethereum or, of course, Bitcoin. That didn't hold me back on Tezos because the art was so cheap. But Solana, I held off just because, again, the confidence wasn't there. Might be starting to change now, right? And so I'm looking for what's our Fidenza, what's our Ringer, what's our Grail collection over there. And man, I don't know that rubber's it, but rubber tells me that we're probably going to see one. So like I am tempted to get one of these even at 17 Sol. It's a beautiful collection first off, but man, that's what I'm watching for on Bitcoin. Again, we're going to get to more art stuff, but Bitcoin, I've already picked my Grail over there and I feel really good about it. Definitely, guys, be watching the art space on both of those chains. I think they're going to take a huge chunk out of Ethereum. I kind of feel like Tezos might actually be dead, which is such a bummer. But these other chains, man, the art's going to get really nice.
Yeah, Huda. Actually, I can just chime in there real quick. So I was doing a deep dive on the art scene in Solana when it went like back in November or in October, just because it looked like it was like Solana was forming its like Thanos glove when it had the shitcoin meta. It already had NFTs, and then DeFi is starting to pop up, which are like the three, I think, like use cases you need to have for functional like top tier smart contract platform. But if you want to look at some grails that have been around since 21, if you can look at Hyperglyph. It's like similar to autoglyphs, but that's 1,000. Actually, it's a 500 collection. Like 13% is listed. That's like one of the first on-chain arts on Solana. Then you also have like Playground Waves, which is kind of similar to Squiggles, but they use audio waves to create the waves, and that's 1,000 collection. And you have like Epochs too, which is super popular. So those are a couple of three that are, and like Fract are like one of the first 4 or 5 projects that were first generative art, and then also on-chain art too as well. So I can ping it in the chat. It's on Solana.
Is there a marketplace? Like, do they go right through Magic Eden?
Yeah, they go through Magic Eden. So
right. Good shit.
Yeah.
Look at our boy Biggie's here. What's good, man? Great to see you. My non-wizard, non-quantum cat friend. What's good, man? I don't hear you, by the way, if you're talking.
Yeah, I don't hear him either.
Yeah.
But
Biggie, your mic's
GMs to
fucked.
the Biggie.
GM to the big dog. Guys, Biggie, like, man, I just gush over Biggie and like legit I would. But like I met him a couple months. Biggie's like that guy. I think that's anybody with Biggie because he's one of those guys that just has like this big heart and you feel it around him and he's just like he just makes you feel warm and fuzzy.
I think Biggie it like encompasses what a lot of us see in each other in Web3. Like there's this typical like Web3 model of a person. Some people are like the shill influencer shitheads that we hate. And some people are like, nah, that's like a dude I'd be playing Halo with back in the day. And I think that's a vibe Biggie brings to the table. Same with Draco. Like that's why we all get along. So yeah, no, I think I've DM'd you after everything we've done with Biggie, and I'm like, man, I really like that guy.
He does, Biggie. I still can't hear you though, man. Nothing. Our boy Rajan is here. Good to see you, man. He grabbed a rubber. Dude, very nice. What price did you get in at? Number 333. Let's see if we can find that real quick.
You know, I'm having while you're looking that up, like, you know, we sold off pretty much our entire Pixel Vault collection this week, right?
Yeah.
Between the last like 2 weeks, and I've just been wanting to stack tokens right now. Like I want to buy stuff because like when you're liquid, it feels like, man, I keep saying like I want to buy something, but then part of me is like stacking tokens is kind of nice too. It's like nice to be liquid for when some good shit comes up.
Tell you what, man. Okay, so I got to get into my hack, but like I got 2 quantum cat mints coming. I'm definitely planning. Well, I plan to keep one, sell one, and I'm throwing that money right into Banana, right into Ron, right into some other tokens because that's something I'm not exposed to enough, and I need to. I'm gonna give you guys a sneak peek at something. Luckily, like I'm very self-aware. We don't get a big audience, so I think I can show this and not get in trouble. And it's also not a big deal. So, but I do want to show. Hang on.
Henry, I think that's a good idea to just have some exposure to tokens because tokens are definitely more of a guarantee to cook.
Bro, you see Ronin this morning, Ron?
Yeah, it's at like 250.
Yeah,
550?
No, 250.
Oh shit, okay. Dude, yeah, because I think that's a $10 token. So I'm I don't want to miss that. All right, check this out, guys. Again, looking at our staging. I shouldn't be showing this. But we've had all this talk about BRC20s, right? Some people really don't like that we show them on site. So coming live in just a couple days here. I should not be showing this. God damn it. Anyway,
show it. Make it, sir. Make it.
It's just cool. Like we've got a toggle here where you can hide the BRC20s. Just see the NFT projects. It'll hide SPL20s as well. Right now, it doesn't actually remove those totals from the blockchain, total sales figures, but it will. But right now, just to get a cleaned up leaderboard, like I want to show you the top NFT projects. Right now, it's definitely got BRC20s in there. I hit the toggle and boom, just NFT projects. So I think people will like that.
Nice feedback, like nice implementation after the feedback you've received.
That's going to be a big piece of what's coming up. And like you guys have seen, we have a Zeely quest now, right? And if not, well, a reminder, we got a Zeely quest. And that Zeely quest is not for nothing. We have a lot coming up. I would probably say some of our biggest announcements we've made ever. Ever. We got really big stuff coming. What's that?
Like you're talking Crypto Slam.
Talking Crypto Slam, yes. So the Zeely quest is just like a little hint that we got something coming. I'm gonna pull it up here real quick. But again, it's like no hyperbole here, man. We have some big things coming with some pretty incredible partners. I'm really excited for that news to start getting out there. But as of right now, you can go on the Zeely quest, you can farm points, and it will be for something that I think people like. So,
yeah, you know what? I'm not trying to shill Crypto Slam because I know it's a Crypto Slam-esque show, but I've told you all along there's something really like special about Crypto Slam because if you're actually screwing around with data and you're looking at charts and you're trying to pull information, we used to say this like back in the day where you would tell me like check Crypto Slam, but I found it like not clunky, it was overwhelming. So much data on there. If you're looking at something real quick, it can be hard to like process it like for something like me. But with the new UI that you guys have, dude, it's literally the only place to go for pulling data. It's the only place to go. You guys have such an edge on everybody else. So
appreciate that.
I'm super excited about whatever it is you guys have coming because I don't know. I just think you have a good team, a good product, and it's something that like the masses are going to need. You're just super early, right? You guys are crazy early, but your stuff's been used by like what, the World Economic Forum,
That's right,
or the world of the yeah. I mean, it's crazy how many Web2 companies use your guys' data.
In a
and
way,
how
it's
often
it's like
cited.
yeah, dude, it's like the Google of Web3. Like you need to find out anything about a project, maybe not the inner workings, like what's the utility, but anything else around it, you go here. And the fact that it's cross-chain now, 21 plus chains at this point, I love it. Of course, I should love it, but I do think it's special, and I like the comparison of the Google of Web3, and I think heading much more in that direction. So appreciate all the kind words. It's funny keeping in mind, like I was always overwhelmed by the site. Where do I go for this? What am I looking at? It's a lot of numbers. It's a lot of data. It's like looking at an old Beckett and just like pages and pages and pages of numbers. And even when I send buddies there, maybe on NFT Live, we're like, hey, look at the daily sales volume. And you go here and you don't know necessarily right where to go. And that's where I got to start reminding people, man, the site at this point is like 6 years old, maybe even 7 years old. Like it's been around, like it's an OG site. So yeah, I think is due for a facelift at some point. But again, it's all there. It's all there. I cannot wait for people to start using it more and more. And I think our Slam AI bot is going to be a big piece of that, right? Like instead of searching the site, just ask a question. Use it like ChatGPT for anything you can think of with NFTs, and probably even broader than that. Maybe even ERC20s too. So imagine degenning and getting into the shit coins and whatnot. And you got a bot like this that you can tie that to NFTs together. Man, it's pretty good stuff.
Hey,
You know who to? I use it pretty often.
Draco, go ahead.
No, I was just saying I actually use it pretty often just to check out the market, and I actually thought the user interface wasn't too bad. Like I think it's very easy to use. But go ahead, Henry. I didn't mean to cut you off there.
No, I was hitting a bad zone on my drive. Are you guys going to crawl Ronin data at any point, like in the future?
So yes, especially anything new. Anything new can get onboarded like instantly, like anybody else. The old historical Axie stuff is very, very hard because it was one of our first projects ever. And it's basically maybe the backbone of it. It's different from the rest of the site. So like, if we want to bring Ronin up to speed, it's going to take serious work, like months and months of dev, work, and probably solely focused on it. This is the old way the site looked, which I've got a soft spot for. I really love it. New projects should be on here, and I know there's some that are not. So I think this does need a little TLC, especially look, Genkai is showing 0, and we know, especially with the Genkai unlock, I'm sure there's been some sales. So just
I'm thinking with like pixels migrating, pixels migrating over. Like I'm just thinking that those could be some cool things to have on the site at some point.
They'd bring eyes. In my opinion, should be there. Like should have already been there. I know I brought that to the team too. I don't know what it like with the things going on. If people knew the inner workings, they'd understand why maybe attention is on some other things right now. I can tell you, though, it'll be there. I just hope sooner rather than later because it's about the biggest game out there right now.
Yeah, cool.
So
can you hear me now?
Biggie, we got you loud and clear, man. It's great to hear your voice.
Great.
What's good, man?
GM Biggie.
You had me tearing up there. I could hear you, but you couldn't hear me. Oh, man. Sorry I'm a little late. I stayed up too late last night. It was good.
What were you drinking?
Nothing. I just took too many edibles.
Oh shit.
Yeah. It was one of those nights. I overdid it. I went 40 millis and it was just like, what?
Sheesh.
Yeah.
That's crazy. Wait, 40?
Yeah, 40.
I got to send you a picture, man. Henry's seen this, but there's a picture out there of me with my eye blown up. Like blown the fuck up. Like the white of my eye actually was like swollen over like my retina or my, what's the middle part?
Because of an edible?
I had 100 milligram edible and I had some crazy reaction to it. And like I went blind in my eye for probably 2 weeks. Like I could not see out of my eye. I went to the ER in the morning.
Is it like a homemade thing or what the hell? It
might have been. Not homemade, but it was like a gas station kind of thing. But like I went to the ER. They're like, "Did you get chemicals in your eye? Like what?" And I'm like, "No, dude. I didn't tell them what I had, but like, dude, blind, could not see, and like blood red and like swollen. It was gnarly. Anyway,
That's
gross.
nuts, man.
Glad you
That's
Sounds
survived
like
your
allergic
40 mg trip.
reaction.
Yeah, yes. It was definitely that. Also was staying in a house. I was up in Chicago house hunting, staying with a buddy who had like 8 cats, and it was like just like that cat smell and litter box and all that shit. So it was just probably like
dude.
that combined.
I'll blame the cats before I
kitties,
blame
but-
the edible.
Yeah, it could have been. It definitely could have been.
Dude, I love the hat, by the way, Huda. It
Dude.
looks great on you. You
Wizard
too,
costume
Draco.
leveling up.
Yeah. Got
I
some
love doing
wizards
this
in the house.
in our NFT live show. I've got a new trick. I've got the green screen, like my old green. I've got this beautiful new green screen behind me, like this flat pull-up thing, but I can use my sheet to do magic. Just like that.
That's so fucking wicked cool, man.
Hang on, hat came
That's
off.
what? I see ghosts. What's up, cats? GM. Dude, I saw Choina there too. That's awesome, man.
Yeah, dude, Choina's fucking awesome, man. He came from the NFT
Yeah,
live
it is.
side, right?
Yeah, he's been part of the NFT lads crew for a long time.
Dude,
It's my
amazing.
my Avagachi brethren.
Yeah.
Dude, how was that Buffalo show yesterday? That was fun, man. I wish I could have stayed for longer. You went for like 5 hours, dude. Can you imagine that, Huda?
I don't even know what
5
that is.
hours? You were there for the Crypto Buffalo show, the Dob Radio.
No, I wasn't there.
I could have sworn I saw your bat
This
down
was
there.
in Discord?
Yeah, yesterday. But you can listen to it through Twitter also. It was streaming through Twitter and everything. It was Dob Radio from the NYC, the Naked Dob Yeti Club. I could have sworn I saw you down there. I even shouted you out. That's hilarious. Maybe.
Weird. Maybe I clicked and popped in and just wasn't like actually. I don't think I was there.
Maybe I imagined you. You know,
Dude,
It's your
40
wisdom.
milligrams will do that to you. So
I wasn't on 40 milligrams then, but you know, maybe I was around 20. But yeah, it was that was funny, man. It was a good show, man. I just couldn't imagine like 5 hours straight, dude. Holy crap.
I'll tell you what, I was chatting with our team. My streams are going to get there. Look, my dream,
No.
honest to God, my dream is that the morning 5-minute show, as much as I love it and as useful as I think it is pretty hard to do and it's pretty time consuming. I'd love to have that be a live morning show, like 8 a.m. and still just short, but 10 minutes. So a 10-minute morning live stream, same pace, same everything, just I can add a little more meat to it. And live always, it just is longer. But ideally it's that. And then I do want like a more like an hour daily show too. But what I really want is like you see guys on YouTube. Fuck, I'm so bad with like influencers' names, but they turn on their camera and they just play games and they chat with the audience and they just hang and they do that for hours. That's what I ultimately want to do. Like just look all over the NFT space and the crypto space and just that's it. Just live and live as long as I want to go. Like could picture a 12-hour stream. Heading that way, honestly. Yeah.
Dude, I couldn't, man. I mean, the most that we have been doing right now is like those back-to-back shows, and by the third one, I'm fucking done. I'm like, all right.
Yeah.
It's, but yeah,
They can be a
engaging with
grind.
an audience. Yeah, for sure, dude.
They can be a grind. All right, let's get into some stories here.
Let's do it.
2 parts to this story. First of all, Pudgy Penguins. Okay, they had that run up to nearly 20 maybe at this point a couple weeks ago. Holding really strong too. Haven't checked the price, but I assume they're right around 20, probably 18, 19. But Lucanets has been tweeting some kind of cryptic things like penguins that are building, penguin taking a large dose of some sunium. Well, yesterday, and was this just yesterday morning? Awful morning, by the way. But they tweeted out some stats, some numbers about the Pudgy Penguins toys. So far, and man, those haven't been out very long, but they've sold 750,000 toys. So 750,000 toys, which I think is a pretty good number. I don't live in that world at all, so I don't know compared to maybe other hot toys how that stacks up, but seems like a pretty freaking solid number. And I guess it was good enough that they're going to have a series 2 of Pudgy Penguins. So ultimately he gets here somewhere in this tweet thread. But yeah, they're going to go for round 2 of Pudgy Penguin toys, meaning Project Overpass has got to be coming any day now. It was live yesterday briefly, by the way. They took it down, but Overpass is coming. It's their licensing platform, And again, it sounds like there's more to come. I don't think it's just toys. I really think they've got some kind of deal for like an animation or a movie. Just my gut feeling.
It's I mean, it only makes sense, right? Those things are so cute. Like you can totally see them in like some shorts or some type
Yeah,
of NFT Netflix kind of special, right? Like I'd love it, man. I show these to my kid too, and like between these guys and my Moonbird, she's always asking to take a look at them, you know?
yeah, they got that special IP. They look great, and they look great in a series. Yeah, because I think if it were just toys, that's a little underwhelming, and I don't think Luca does underwhelming. I think he's got a lot up his sleeve. But here's a preview of Overpass. Pretty damn cool, and they also have the Bored Ape logo in here too. So it's not just going to be for Pudgy Penguins. I think this is going to be for multiple Web3 brands. Man,
Nice.
I'd love. I mean, CyberKong's on here. Could that work? Would that work? Like what would that look like to you, Henry?
That's their NFT licensing, right? Sorry, I'm not looking at your.
Yeah, it's their licensing
Is that
platform.
what-
Picture made by apes, but Pudgy Penguins version.
Yeah, I don't. You know, you and I had this conversation before. By the way, I'm not shitting on it at all. Just my own opinion is I don't personally get it, the licensing part, and the reason I say that is you're paying to license a product or let's say a PFP, right? The point of it is, hey, you could put your PFP out there that somebody could license, right? That's the premise of it. Am I correct on that?
Correct.
Okay, so I look at it, and we talked about this probably 4 or 5 months ago. If you're looking to license somebody's IP or IP in general, what are you doing with it, right? You're starting a business. You're going to use it for a business to brand something. Well, if you're doing that, why don't you just go buy one yourself? We're not talking about something so expensive that you couldn't afford to, right? In my mind, like go buy your own Pudgy Penguin or your own Kong or your own Bored Ape. If you're going to pay somebody to license it, and then the other side of it is this: if you don't have the funds to be able to go buy it yourself, then I look at it as the person, like, let's say I was going to license Henry, right? Who are you? Like, if you're going to license my IP, but you can't afford to buy one yourself, what skills do you possess where I want my IP out there for something you're working on that might be complete and utter shit?
Man.
Like, what skills do you possess where I want you fucking around with my IP? And that is the reason why I'm like, we're not talking about licensing Marvel, which is a multi-billion-dollar, company. We're talking about licensing things that are effectively $40, $50, even $100,000. Some of these things $20,000. So like I it's cool to think of. Practically speaking, I don't fully understand it.
It's such a good take that it sucks because it kind of destroys the whole that use case for NFTs. It's a really good point. Like, yeah, if you are running a business and you can't afford to get it on your own, what do you
make
what
one
do you
more
do
point to it?
Yeah.
How many people have we seen in Web3? Web3 is this it's this pool filled with people that think that they're entrepreneurs, right? They think they are, because they've seen people get what they consider to be rich quickly using, digital art. But the reality is we have seen very few, I'm talking like probably less than 100 people in this space execute on a business plan. That makes sense. How many times do we talk about being shilled something by another project or hearing about something and you're just like, what is the point? Like, I don't get it. Who cares? I think Web3 is filled with that, of people who think that they're entrepreneurs. Some of them might be, but most of them are not. And I think those are the people who would be looking to license these things. And I think the space has sort of proven it's not filled with the brightest, grindiest entrepreneurs. And I certainly don't think it's the Web2 crowd that's going to be like, hey, I'd like to license your Pudgy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Great points. I have no counters to it.
Huda, I think what I'm more interested in, I think it's like, I agree with what Henry's saying, but like, I think the value prop is not only potentially have the solution, but It's more so like who's on the other side is my question, right? Like in theory, it sounds cool, like, but what Henry mentioned is like spot on. But if maybe if he has already interested buyers on his side, because I know he's like super connected in like the Web 2 world, like maybe that would be more enticing if he already has folks that are lined up ready for it. I think that's what I'm a little bit more interested in learning, like what's on the other side of this IP platform. That's what I would want to know. But then also too, with like when I see the 750,000 plus toys sold, which is good, like my brain automatically goes like, I'm curious to understand like what their total profits are, what was their total spend, like what was their margin between cost and profit. So I'm very curious to dig in the details, but yeah, I mean, I'm on the side of Henry on this, but unless Luca has like an aggregate where he's aligning other NFTs to some of his contacts, which I think that would be cool. If you could facilitate conversations with your Walmart contacts for other brands, I think that would definitely help push the space further, but I don't think it's like that though. So,
and this is not unique, by the way. Oh, which Draco, like, you know, that I used to have, and of course you know too. Like, I used to have like a place in my heart for Pudgy Penguins that I think was filled with more hate than it needed to be. I'm not there anymore. Okay, so I don't say this. I'm just trying to be objective about what they're doing. It's not unique. I remember in Tokyo, there were 2 different places that came up to us pitching their platform that does exactly this. Obviously, Luca and Pudgy probably have bigger exposure than what they did, but you know, listened to them, saw their platform, still came with the same kind of questions that, you know, or lack of solutions that I just brought up before, because Hood and I had that conversation over the summer. So it's not unique. And to your point, Draco, with the toys, one thing I've learned in Kong's exploration of, you know, physical products is that, man, that the numbers are skewy. They're really weird. They get, I'm with you, Draco. I 750,000 toys sold. Sometimes there are things like guaranteed buybacks on the back end. So they may have sold toys. They also may have bought those toys that are being quoted as sold. Yep. So there's just really funky crap that goes on in that world that that'd be curious to see what that profit margin is. But all that being said, it's good exposure for them. Not shitting on them, just like good exposure for them.
That's what we do here. Like, I'm not here to pump anything in particular, and I'm not here to shit on anything. I always say that I'm rooting for everybody, and I very legitimately am. Like, everyone, even the shit projects, I hope they succeed, and I hope they build something cool. But what we are going to do is be really real about the things we talk about here. So all these points are really valid. They're things that we need to see, I guess, what these kind of platforms evolve into, and our takes will evolve as they change too. I always keep in mind we're early. So what they are now is not ultimately all they are and all they're going to be. Kat's bringing up a good point here too. On top of licensing for, you know, whatever other, you know, products are out there, one of the main utilities now is licensing your Pudgy as one of those toys. And when you do that, you actually get royalties on every single one of that toy that sells, which is awesome. And they have done numbers on that. That has worked out where the guys who have made money so far, their Pudgy, while it's probably not paid off entirely, over the course of a couple of years, it would be. Like, the Pudgy would pay for itself, which is really, really cool. Like, that's a cool opportunity. So licensing in that form, I think is pretty fantastic.
Huda, I'm curious as to when it would pay for itself. Like, if you minted or if you bought like right now. Like, it'll take you a while.
Right
maybe.
now would be tough. But then imagine if this does become the Pudgy Penguins, the movie, and your character is one of the main characters, and you're getting royalties, you know, on like a big screen, you know, blockbuster kind of movie, which I do see Pudgy Penguins with that kind of potential in the future. Now that would be a different story. That'd be cool.
Okay, play that out. This is what's weird to me about that. That I don't want to call it smoke and mirrors. Luca
Dream
owns the
scenario.
Yeah, but play this out. They have a non-exclusive. Holders have non-exclusive IP rights to their Pudgy Penguins. Let's say Luca sells a deal for Pudgy Penguins, right? He owns the IP. He does not need to license your IP to put it in the movie. He didn't need to license your IP to put it on toy shelves. So that's the part I don't fully grasp, is he owns the IP. Like, you own the IP, but he owns the IP too. Right. You both own it. And so, like, he doesn't need to license the IP to him to put it in a movie. So if he has, millions of dollars on the table, is he gonna? Is it, in that scenario? Not talking toys where maybe holders are getting thousands of dollars, but in much larger, productions, would you get the same kind of value out of it, or would it be like, hey, we got pudgies in, and every holder, every pudgy that's going to be in that is going to be part of the cut? I'm curious. It's just something to keep an eye
I
on.
think the only way you achieve some like results like the ones you're talking about, Henry, is like you have to have a blockbuster hit. You have to have, like one of those movies that everybody's talking about. Like it's got to be Frozen, like that level of crazy, reach and notoriety. And it's something that's really hard to achieve, right? Like I really love your take there, where I do think like sometimes people, like they reach a certain level of I don't know, like they have a couple of good hits, or they make some money, and then all of a sudden they're investors, right? Or all of a sudden, they're just like entrepreneurs, investors, collectors, right? Like when, to really, and I'm not saying that you shouldn't think you have the capacity to achieve those things and do that, right? Like, but before before Web3, like when people call themselves that, it's like, yeah, I've been doing it for a decade. I'm an investor. I've invested, and I've been reading through decks for fucking 10 years. Like I'm a wizard. Like I've got a little bit more of an edge than other people do, right? And when it comes to the IP, like I understand why people are so drawn to it. It's like, and I love how everybody immediately goes to Mickey Mouse and Disney, right? As if those things were not just behemoths, right? In an industry of so full of carcasses and things that are eventually forgotten, right? Like the other day, I was, like we were at a restaurant, and they brought a coloring book to my daughter, and it was Mickey Mouse, and she was like, Mickey, and I was so fucking blown away, because I was like, we don't show her Disney, like she's seen Disney movies, but like especially Mickey Mouse, like we don't show her. She doesn't watch Mickey Mouse. She doesn't see cartoons of Mickey Mouse or read books of Mickey Mouse. But she knew who the fuck Mickey Mouse was at 2.5 years old. I was like, who the fuck told you that's Mickey Mouse? Right? To achieve that level of like recognition and branding takes decades to build.
Yes.
And like you've got to be, I mean, it's fucking Disney, right? So when I hear people talk about like their pudgies or their moonbirds or their whatever, it's like I love it. Like I'm all for a big dream, but you need to understand that it's still a dream. It's gonna take tremendous effort to embed yourself in people's psyche in the way that Disney has, right? Like it takes more than a couple of plushies. It takes more than 3 or 4 feature films and whatever else have you, right? Man, it's a great take, and I'm all for it, right? Like, but yeah, it's reaching sometimes. It definitely feels like reaching.
It is, and it's why we say we're early, because truthfully, like we are very early, and yeah, beautiful to see some building pushing us in the direction we all think and believe and hope that we'll actually be in a decade, and this is one of those stepping stones. Now I'll wrap this up. You guys know the story already, but on this tweet, okay, so yesterday morning, doing my research for my morning show, right? I go dig through the biggest tweets, the latest stories, the hottest headlines, and I see the Pudgy Penguins, tweet about the toys, and I'm scrolling down, and somewhere under here, actually right here, Luca actually tweeted. This is where he actually mentioned season 2 of Pudgy Toys, right? And then directly under that, another tweet saying, and by the way, the game is still live, compete now, blah, blah, blah. Okay, this is 4 a.m., my eyes half open. I'm like not really in the zone. And I click on it. I connect to the site. And dude, it hits me instantly. Just instant. You know that feeling.
Yeah.
Did Huda freeze?
I was going to say, did we lose him?
I thought it was me. I thought it was me.
Well, I was waiting for
like,
him to drop something crazy.
I think it was a really emotional, time for him, and I think he's just got think he's just a little teary-eyed, caught up in himself right now.
He's choked up, man. He lost his IP. You know.
Yeah. Oh, now he just left. Now he's
Oh,
He
ghosted
left
us.
his own show. Who gets to control it now, though? That's the question.
Are
Or is he
we
gonna
are we on a captainless ship right now?
have? Yes, we are rudderless, adrift.
you know, Biggie. I actually wanted to jump on your take with the pudgy things. I think they are kind of moving in the right direction, but I think that just speaks volumes to I guess like market expectation of holders and collectors. They jump straight to Disney. Like that IP takes, like you said, decades to build. And honestly, man, like I hope as a space we can take a step back and like realign expectations. I know we have cookers, but I think we're so
Yeah.
everyone's conditioned for like short gratification, and in reality it's just like, okay, you really want to, if you want to buy into a project for real, you really want to be in a project that's going to last decade, like it's going to last for the long haul, and just like jumping straight to hopes and dreams, which is good to have aspirations and goals, but like I really would like to see the space mature a little bit and like kind of just chill out for a second, you know what I mean? And I think like probably the fastest way to Pudgy Penguins to get to that mass adoption, I don't think like even if they come out with a movie, it may not be a smash hit. It would be cool to actually see a IP be introduced as a feature more than like the main character, if that makes sense. So like maybe being featured in on a Disney show and being like a side character, or I don't know, a Nickelodeon show. I think that's more doable than actually having your own show. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I yeah, and I don't know when people talk about that too, right? Like, I remember especially during the euphoria days of Moonbirds, right? And again, Disney and all these things would be brought up, and there's 10,000 of them. It's like they can't all make it into a feature film. In my opinion, like the best thing you can do if you want your particular individual Pudgy or Kong or what have you, or Moonbird to be like recognizable. It's almost, I would always say it's on you, man. It's on you to
There you go.
and make it memorable, right? Like make it so that when people see that Moonbird, they're like, oh, that's fucking Biggie Poppins, man. You know? And like use your talents to try to fucking like spread that as wide as you can, right? If you're an internet marketer, it's whether you're gonna take, you know, the route of making plushies and doing like a huge like marketing campaign for that, or doing like a children's book and trying to hit it that way. But I don't know, man. Yeah, like sometimes I feel like even for Luca, I can't imagine what it must be like to hear these people say these things, and he's kind of like, dude, I'm fucking trying, like I'm doing shit, but like some of it's gonna come be on you too, right? Like,
I just think Biggie, like there's, to me, with the idea of IP, which I agree with you, and I think most people know like it takes decades to build legacy IP. I think the expectation that I think people have with Pudgies is, I don't want to say it's misguided. I think there's a potential issue with it because I think a lot of projects will ultimately look for acquisition as their exit strategy. Okay. You have people that are working on building IP. And if all of this becomes something in the next however many years, there will be projects, not all of them, but there will be a lot that will be looking to be acquired because they put the time. And at some point, it's like I say, it's tiring. It's a lot of work, man. Like it's a grind. So when that happens, and I believe it will happen with certain projects, and I think Pudgy Penguins are the perfect type of project that could be positioned to be acquired. Anybody that's looking to acquire something like Pudgy Penguins, again, going back to what is the ownership of the IP? Well, what's the value add for them to pay out royalties, okay, to people who own Pudgy Penguins that have a licensing agreement when legally they don't have to? That to me is it's like a little bit of a setup. You don't have exclusive rights to your IP as a holder. It's non-exclusive, and so like to me, it's a. I don't want to say it's a farce. It feels like a gimmick that may or may not be sustained, but certainly legally it doesn't have to be sustained. And then the other element of it is Pudgy Penguins. It's a U.S. based company. Regulations have not been clearly defined, but we know what the Howey test is. Even though we had, we talked about the Coinbase stuff, Judge Falia and her saying like it's a bit archaic. I'm paraphrasing because she didn't use the word archaic, but it's a investment of money in a common enterprise with an expectation of profit through the efforts of others. And I'm like, man, if that does not meet the Howey test in and of itself, I don't know what does, especially when you have a project that's talking about, giving money back to holders. You get that now in current regulatory framework.
Yeah, you broke up there a little bit at the end, but I totally catch your drift, man. I think as long as that optionality exists, like you say, it's a hindrance or it's a drawback, right? Just because it exists, like it doesn't mean like you're insinuating like Luca is gonna rug or whatever or gonna sell out or whatever. But like you said, the optionality is there, right? And that is, I guess, yeah, it is. It isn't in accordance to the Web3 ethos, right? Did I break up now? Draco, can you hear me?
No, I'm here. I'm just it's tough, man, dude. Like in reality, I actually always loved the rev share model and in theory, but it's just it's the US is making it so hard for crypto to operate, but it's definitely a slippery slope because the funny thing is like the feds are in here. They're in there and they're just sitting and watching and they're building up a case to just get people. So yeah, I mean,
It's
I don't
bonkers,
know.
right? And with the amount of I don't know, man. To me, that it's just bonkers. I understand, right? Like we all understand why crypto and Web3 is under attack, right? Like I guess it's a threat to the old established good old boys club. But yet, I think at this juncture, at this point in time, I don't know, man. Like I think it's pretty obvious that the technology. I don't want to say we're like a crowd or like a fucking hippies, but like the technology, the space, like it's a contender, right? Like I think it's become big enough and significant enough that when you look around the world and you see so many other countries trying to adopt it, implement it, regulate it in a thoughtful manner, like and like at a very rapid clip, because they can see that some of these other first world countries are slipping right by the wayside. They're like trying to just keep hold of this old guard that it inevitably will have to evolve. And it's crazy to me that like in America, like you have like the worst of it, like just incompetent fools trying to regulate something that they can't comprehend and have never bothered studying or using. And you see other countries and it's like, man, they're already like using it in their government, right? Like, how is it possible?
Well,
Yeah.
well, Biggie, I feel like it's because I actually think it's a little bit malicious too on our end because I do think like US is a bit behind, and like if we can get it, I'm pretty sure they can get it. And my thought process is they're trying to accumulate as much as possible to catch up for
Mhm.
lost time, in my opinion. But yeah, no, I mean, from a technology perspective, it's here to stay. But there definitely needs to be some regulation and guidance. But I feel like the longer I've been in crypto, the more I've just been like, there's still a lot of BS out there, and there's still a lot of like manipulation. And it's funny because I'm onboarding my solutions engineer at my job. I do enterprise sales. So basically, think of like Salesforce CRM applications, stuff like that. And my engineer is like diving deep, and he doesn't understand the basics of like why certain coins pump, and he doesn't understand like hardware
Fucking
safety and all
DJ.
this stuff. Yeah, and it's just funny. Like when I'm thinking about it, he's like naming all these coins. I'm like, brother, I'm like, just for you to start, like for you to for you to start, get you some like Ethereum and Bitcoin to start, and make sure you have like a solid base there, and then before you venture out. But I still think there's like a lot of manipulation that's out there, and there's a lot of vaporware. So I do think we do need some regulation, but it's just like, I don't know, it's pretty discouraging to see
It's coming.
leadership. Yeah,
Dude,
yeah.
It's
I
coming.
agree. Like with what you said, Draco, did you see the 6529 card for this season? It was fantastic. It's like Larry Fink, and it's like all your cryptos belong to us now, or something like that. It's very much in line with what you were saying. But yeah,
Hey, Biggie
there's
Draco.
definitely some fuckery afoot.
I think we should move on to the to Magic Eden. I know that was a topic Huda wanted to go over.
Yeah. Let's do it, dude. I'm back.
Oh,
The wizard
guys,
is back.
fucking what? First off, thank you guys for keeping this. Fuck, I can't believe you guys kept the show running. Thank you very, very much.
What do you mean? Of course we're gonna keep the show running.
It's incredible. I didn't even realize it would still run too, but man, that I don't know what happened. Internet went out. Internet is back.
Welcome back,
Wizard
sir.
went to the toilet. We all know what happened, Huda.
Dude, that freaked me out though. Like my internet doesn't go out much. Yeah, it was weird, but all good now. Brief outage.
Welcome back. You didn't miss much, though we did have great conversation going. Yeah, we were just going to rotate to Magic Eden. But
Cool.
To be honest with you, we can rotate to whatever.
Well, I was going to show, I don't even care. I was going to show my lost Pudgy Penguin. We can move on from that. You guys know the
No,
story.
man.
No. Have
Where is
we?
Do we need the story?
Yeah, you should continue it. We
For
got
people,
as far as you
for
clicked
the
on the
people.
link. Yeah.
Yeah, let's show it. Because it's a good educational experience for people. Don't fucking click links, guys. Don't just don't do it. Yeah, so at the bottom of that Pudgy Penguins tweet, again, there was the Luca tweet, which was legit. Right under it, another one. Clearly isn't Luca Nets. It's like Luca L Nets. Again, like my eyes were just like half open. I was not awake. So, dude, like I see a game. I'm like, oh, is Pudgy World? I know the game itself isn't live, but they've always had this like light version of the game where you can just run around. Like, oh, there are people running around right now, just like a community thing. Didn't read the airdrop part. I didn't read anything about tool, like none of that. I didn't even read it. So clicked on the site. Man, it instantly, like the transaction pops up and just not thinking of it. I just assume I'm connecting my wallet. And again, just that feeling, like that feeling just washed over me where I knew. I'm like, I fucked up. Like I fucked up.
Man,
I knew it right away.
I'm so sorry, Huda, man. Like I finally understand now why like some people when they write like a post or something, have you been noticing that? Like right at the bottom, they'll put like, this is the end of the thread or this is the end of the post. Like I was always like, that's a bit much. Now I understand why.
No, that's why.
They have to.
Yeah. Sorry.
They like we need those more and more because it's too easy. Yeah, here's my little guy right here. It's too easy for these guys to take advantage of people who, as careful as I am, man, it just takes one time. And man, I got so lucky. Like I really dodged a bullet that it wasn't a full drainer, which is what I thought at first, right? I thought it was a full wallet drainer.
Oh my god! So it was
luckily,
just like that one, the pud. It was like a pudgy drainer.
It was a transaction to just take any pudgy. So if I had multiple little pudgies or if I had Pudgy Penguins, it was for those contracts. So it went and just took that instantly. You can see it did this auto sale at 0.0001.
That is the strangest thing, Huda. Like, why would a piece of shit fucking hacker just target when you're? That's I don't know. It's definitely not benevolent on their. Yeah, but it's not like they're doing it out of benevolence.
It's
like I only want your pudgies. I mean, obviously,
yeah, but it's
nice for that. But why would you not just drain the whole thing? I'm sorry. I'm not trying to give ideas to these assholes, but fucking.
Yeah,
I think it's because
why not code in the Bored Ape contract too, right? Like while you're at it, why not just put in the other contracts? Yeah. But multiple signatures, maybe that's when it starts raising some like alarms, maybe.
Yeah. You could it's easier to set a like it was basically a function where it was a sale function. Yeah. So it's just much easier for them to have you sign that versus otherwise you would start to question it, right? You'd be like, wait, why am I approving multiple collections? Right. So yeah, that sucks, dude. And it just goes to show, like, I don't understand why. I do understand why, but more projects should be concerned about the safety of their community and their assets, and using things like the Guardian contract. Like, the technology exists. Pudgy's going to have a game for their little Pudgies. Why not allow people to keep them in a hot wallet, but secure it with a cold wallet, or use like a delegate wallet?
Can you imagine? If I had him locked with a Guardian contract, he could not have been stolen. Even with me clicking on even approving the transaction, it couldn't go. That's
exactly.
Crazy, man.
You give out your seed phrase to the guy and be like, "Here you go," and he could play with it, but he couldn't take it.
Yeah, God, that's so wild. Luckily, I look at things maybe a little differently. Like this, it didn't even bum me out really. I mean, a little, of course, but it only interfered with my plans for Quantum Cats. I was going to sell them, right? That was going to cover my Quantum Cats mint. But I look at it like I'm looking for the bright side of it. First, again, I didn't get fully drained. That was awesome. But second, I bought them for an ETH. ETH is a lot of money, but all things considering, yeah, he was worth 2. But again, I'm out 1 ETH. Things could have been much, much worse. So I'll work my way back to 1. I do want to be in that community still, and I'm covered for Quantum Cats still. I found a way. So
hell yeah.
So I've already moved on. So ultimately, it's just that word of caution, man. Just be so fucking careful and be smart. I need to be smarter with my hot cold stuff too. So again, just a good reminder. They will get you eventually. It's just dude, I swear I thought it would never happen. I thought it would be that story of I'll never get gotten because I am so security minded. And it just takes the one fuck up. Just the one fuck up.
Just before you pivot, well, one thing, it's good that's only one asset. But I was actually thinking about security hygiene myself because I'm handling a lot of these like different chains and test nets, whatever. Is it almost better to have a burner computer completely just for fuckery? That may be the way to go.
I've heard people do that, take that approach. I mean, it's a bitch, but yeah. Hauling around 2 laptops or doing, but
no downside to that at all. There's
helps.
no reason to not, other than expenses. But yeah, I think the safer you can be, the better. Absolutely.
What do they call it? Air gapped or something like
That's
that.
It. I basically use that for my my crypto bats, like my admin account over there. That is on a separate computer. I don't do anything else NFT related over on that. And yeah, that's the smart way to do it. Really, really segment the stuff out.
It's funny, even with like, Kong's recently had the partnership with Well3 and Yoga Pets. I don't know if you saw that, but you get insights every 7 days based on your assets. And like, I won't even connect my Kong's assets aside from VX's are in a hardware wallet. And I'm like, yep, I don't care what I'm losing out on. I don't care if it's a read only function. Like, I do not want to connect my hardware wallet to anything. Like, other than transferring to another wallet to sell something. I don't want to connect it. It's scary because you just don't know. And we have this instant trust because like, oh, there's an airdrop. It must be smart people behind the scenes. Something gets compromised. Who knows? Who knows? Like, literally, who knows? So sorry that happened though. The one thing I was happy about is it was just the Pudgy versus your entire wallet. Because that could happen. That could happen. So, but you know what? If there's somebody that's going to grind back from that, it's going to be you. No doubt.
Dude, I have no doubt. And again, I am very, very fortunate that I've got the Quantum Cats thing. I think I'll make it back right away and probably end up even further ahead. And I'm just fortunate to. Okay, I said the cornball thing, and I meant it in my tweet yesterday. For me, being in the space, getting to work in the space, getting to do this all day long, that to me like overrides everything. Like I'm going to lose an asset here or there. I take losses on NFTs, but man, no joke, it's just such a joy to be in doing this right now with you guys, right? Like, this shit is my life. Me losing a Pudgy doesn't change that I still get to do this. So man, I'm good. I'm happy.
3 years, dude.
These guys,
it's been literally 3 years. Yeah, 3 years.
Next topic.
Now, did I hear it real quick? You're going to get 2 Quantum Cats?
Yes, and I had such a good chance at a third. In fact, here's some alpha for you guys, right? This is legit alpha. Okay, let me pull this up.
But this is from the whitelist, like from the one that you achieved from the video and all that.
Yes. So from the video, I got one.
Okay.
The second I got in the Golden Ratio Discord, they gave away 10 spots there, and I was quick to get my
No
entry. And in fact, I
way.
got the 10th
Fuck
spot. So
yeah.
2 guaranteed whitelists. Now, I almost had a third, and I got to show you how, because nobody knows about this.
Nobody knows.
No one knows. And okay, do you guys remember the Bitcoin miners? Is that familiar?
No.
Okay,
No.
let me show you this. Miners, ordinal miners.
Who the-
Okay. Ordinal miners, a very small, basically a 100 edition collection, right? Chip, who's the artist behind this, in the Idiots Discord, by the way. So they made news, like I'd say a month ago, because they announced they're giving away 10 node monkeys to their ordinal miners, right? You get a 1 in 10 chance of getting a node monkey. Pretty freaking great. But it turns out they have a second collection that is tiny, just 17, and they're giving away rewards to these guys too, less, right? So it turns out, I think, I don't know the exact numbers, but I think 1 or 2 of those node monkeys actually is going to go to the OM pool. So this is the alpha, I guess. Maybe 0.04 is a little expensive right now, but so far I won a regulars NFT that cost, or that I flipped for 0.02 Bitcoin. I got entered in that raffle for another whitelist for Quantum Cats. Now I lost it. They drew this morning. There were only 8 entries. So I had a 25, like a 1 in 4 chance of getting that third whitelist. These OM pools are going to be pretty damn rewarding. So that's the alpha there.
Wow.
It's either miners or OM pools. Both of them get you a pretty frequent like raffle access, and they're really, really good. They're really, really good, like mints, really good projects you get into. So
Okay.
worth looking at.
Very cool. Very cool.
Man,
Congratulations,
this
Buddha.
is so much to think about, dude. Like I've got to stack some stuff to get the Quantum Cats, which I want to get.
Okay.
That's the 29th, right?
Yes. Yes. Okay. Yeah. Now you might want to try to get that early, right? Now they have like a pre-register on their website. Fuck it. Let's go Quantum. I was going to ask what we should do next, Magic Eden or Quantum Cats. Let's go to Quantum Cats. Because right now you can pre-register, and I wonder if that gets you on a wait list as opposed to having to fight out, like a public sale. Let me pull this up here. Now to do that though, you do need the Bitcoin in your wallet. So just a heads up about that. But I might recommend doing it. Yeah. God damn it, where is it? And like here, like I'm just excited. There still is a chance I could win free. So I think with those 2 mints, the free mint I think is in addition to your whitelist spot. So I will have 2 paid mints and then possibly still have that chance to win that contest and get a free mint on top. So maybe 3 still. Okay.
Very cool.
Here's the site, right? mint.quantumcats.xyz. You can go here, you can register, and again, you can register for the public sale. And I think that's going to give you a better shot at landing one than if you just hit there day one, right? At mint time. Okay. Worth doing. And again, you need that point. It's 0.102 that you need in your wallet.
Man, Huda doing God's work over here. I hope not too many people see today's show.
Hey, when we get to say NFTs as well,
I'm
man,
kidding.
we got some freaking
Oh my
alpha.
God, yeah. Yeah.
But I'll tell you what, I freaking love the I love everything about this the Quantum Cats experience so far. Like, of course, I'm doing the wizard thing right now. I'm gonna work towards a Taproot wizard. I am. Like, that's part of my plan now. I think that is the collection on Bitcoin. I think the Quantum Cats is gonna be freaking incredible. Like, price point wise, what do you guys think that's gonna do on secondary right away? Keeping in mind it's a 3,300 edition collection. It's coming from the biggest names and influencers on Bitcoin. It is their first mint. And knowing that there's 10K collections like Node Monkey and Bitcoin Frogs that have held 0.2, 0.3 Bitcoin floors. What do you guys think these do?
Yeah, Huda, I actually think this is going to be a certified cook. And I also think the incentive to hold is definitely going to be an entry towards Taproot Wizards. I feel like I don't know fully the team behind them, but I know they're based. And I think they want to create a very loyal, curated community. And I wouldn't be surprised if this is like the first test or first round to see who they're gonna actually let into the Taproot Wizards. But and I mean, price prediction is tough to say, but like I think a fair 3x. I think off the rip, I could see like 0.35 off the get go, and I could see it. Well, I mean, look, like what did No Monkeys went all the way to 0.25, 28, 0.28 at one point. For like one of the first ordinal PFP, like low inscriptions, right? Like, and this is aligned to Taproot Wizards, so in a smaller collection size, I bet you it's going to do bits. Just because my initial reaction when they announced the mint price of 0.1, I like gasped, and I was like, dude, fuck that. That is way too expensive. And I said that, I said that for Node Monkeys, and it just absolutely printed. But I think it's going to do really well, in my opinion.
Yeah,
I no
I'm
longer
with you.
predict
No,
every
dude,
ordinal
they're
process.
so hard. They're
That,
so
that's
difficult.
smart, Henry. That's
People
smart.
paying $700 for a boo, for a whitelist, just a whitelist to mint a boo, and then the floor is below mint within, an hour and a half, 2 hours. It's so hard to. It's just a whole different culture. Yeah, but I hope you cook, dude, and I'm gonna try to go for public on it.
Dude, beautiful. Yeah, so some things to compare it to. Again, Node Monkeys 10K edition collection at 0.17. What was our other Bitcoin Frogs at 0.18? And again, I think Bitcoin Frogs were 0.5 at one point. I do believe at their highest they were 0.5. It just shows that there are people willing to pay these kind of prices over in that ecosystem. Let me see. Do we get to 0.5 up here? Yeah, we did 0.45, 0.46. So there is money. Obviously, there's money in that ecosystem. You got guys willing to spend it. And I think Quantum Cats has got them beat team-wise, influencer-wise. I mean, Udi is the guy. He just is the guy in that ecosystem. Guy's at 185,000 followers. He's highly influential. Draco, I'm with you with a price prediction. I think 0.2 immediately at mint or after mint is programmed in. I kind of think 0.3 is as well. And it will not shock me to see these at 0.5. It won't. It won't shock me. If we were in that cooking market from a few weeks ago, then I think that's a definite. We're not there. So that's what has me throttling back a little bit. But I think 0.3 is super doable. And man, then I'm going to be faced with some choices. Like I got to make some money back, sell one, keep one, sell two, and walk away with maybe half a Bitcoin. I mean, my goodness.
I mean, dude, I feel like you can't go wrong with selling both of them if they get to a high valuation and just try to buy back in, because eventually it's going to just dip. You know it. Like we see it.
Yeah.
And if you really want to be part of the community, like I think that'd be a good opportunity to make a nice bag and get back into the community. So it's a good problem to have, man.
Oh, it definitely is. And you know what? And then if I happen to win the free one as well, that makes it even easier, because then one definitely is sold and probably two sold, keep one. I mean, that to me would be the dream scenario. But I am going to go full throttle, try to get a wizard too. I'm going to do all the quests that they have. I'm going to be active in the community. A lot of people have given up, and maybe there's some alpha that comes from our buddy English. A lot of people, because they didn't do quest 1, 2, and 3, they've stopped. They think it's too late. And that just means that's your opportunity. You've got less competition. So if you're interested in that ecosystem, man, I would be pushing on it because they are different. I'm going to put up my video real quick, too.
So
We're not going to play with noise.
I'm curious, Draco, we predicted like what the highs would be like. What do you think a retrace would look like? Like how much, like you said, there's always that pullback, with speculators slipping out of it or whatever. Like, what do you think? How low do you think they ever go?
Man, that's a tough question. And please do not take my predictions as gospel here.
Guesstimations.
You know what, man? It's tough to say. I mean, look, realistically, do we think it falls below mint price of 0.1?
Hell no.
No. Okay.
I hope not.
I mean, if Node Monkeys have been able to keep a 0.16 floor or something like that, I don't see why Cats would go below that, right?
I don't see them going below 0.2. I don't see it. The collection's a third the size of Node Monkeys. Again, the team just outclasses them. And then the main thing is them ushering in new tech. Like, this is now not a conversation just on the ordinal side. This is a conversation that affects the Bitcoiners, the laser-eyed maxis, right? They want to fork the Bitcoin blockchain. It's huge. It's a huge conversation. And I also believe they wouldn't be pushing for this if they didn't think it was likely to happen, that they didn't have support from the developers already. And that's ultimately what this foundation, like that 7.5 mil they raised from VCs, right? That there's a lot of people who believe it's going to happen and they're just getting ahead of it, right? Being the narrative that they're the ones who pushed it. I think it's almost a given that it's going to happen. And when it happens, that means L2s get buffed. That means we get DEXs on Bitcoin. That means we get smart contracts on Bitcoin. It's a huge overhaul
Is that good?
for it.
Is that good for Like Bitcoin's fork? Well, we got Bitcoin Cash. We got Bitcoin. What's that? What was the other big fork they had? Bitcoin Cash. Bitcoin. BCH and BCS, was it? Bitcoin
Classic.
Yeah.
Bitcoin Classic.
Might have. Yeah, maybe that was it. But I guess what I'm wondering is a fork good for Bitcoin?
Oh, BCH.
BCH was Bitcoin Cash, but then
yeah.
There was, I think,
I remember
BCS.
there was another one, right?
Yeah. But I just wonder, is it good? Like so far, the forked Bitcoins have not done so hot. This might be completely different, though, right?
It could always be different. I think you've got enough believers that Ordinals adds to the ecosystem. It adds to the value of Bitcoin itself. And I think the devs now have really just caught on. Franklin Templeton, I'm trying to find a tweet of theirs, but man, they've been all in here. And God, this one specific tweet was really, really cool. I mean, it was very bullish on Ordinals. They see that vision of Ordinals being nothing but a value add for Bitcoin itself as a store of value. And where
do the institutions go? Like let's say there was a fork. You're gonna have this degen side, right? That's like, oh, I'm in Bitcoin, whatever the fork is. You maybe mentioned
Bitcoin.
Taproot, yeah, it's gonna be BCO, Bitcoin Ordinals. So you're gonna have the degens that go that route, but you just have like ETFs that got approved for Bitcoin. Would institutions probably stay with the store of value that we know as Bitcoin, or like is there enough of a wave outside of this small space of degens that would be like, nah, this is the new Bitcoin?
So that's a good question, and this is where I'm not technical enough with the tech itself, right? So it's a soft fork. Does that mean that it literally splits and you're both, kind of on different paths, or is it like Ethereum where like one of them automatically just becomes the chain, even though the other one still exists in a form, right? But is a soft fork less of a fork where it's one or the other and it's more of like an upgrade to the ecosystem?
Great question.
Yeah, as long as there's not like a split, right? Like what you're saying, where you have two different assets now, because that would definitely, I think, be I don't know, detrimental to what they're trying to do, just for the fact that a lot of people don't know even how to claim that secondary asset, right? Or that they have access to it. I don't know. It could be very confounding, especially for the traditional investment, right? Groups that just came in.
I got a question for you. Like, what fork has ended well?
Great question.
I mean, we could say Ethereum's last fork, but we're still in the midst of that, right? But that's a really good question.
Yeah, man, I don't know. I just think, like, in theory, it sounds great, but Ordinals for Bitcoin is cool. Like, high value collectibles on rare Satoshis. I think it brings back art and provenance value. DeFi on Bitcoin, I just can't. I don't know. We have a whole smart contracts platform for all that stuff. And maybe it takes off, but I would find it very hard to believe that institutions are going to back or go to that soft fork versus what just been approved for an ETF that took a decade or so. So I don't.
Do we know what a soft fork looks like? You know what I mean? Like what that truly means. Does it split or no, it's one or the other?
Someone from what I understand, it's a content one, right? Where two different communities split off, and then you have those two different assets, right? Ethereum Classic and Ethereum as we know it. But then you have what do they call a consensus? a social consensus like soft fork, right? Where like people agree with it.
Oh,
And
guys.
that's where I'm not too clear.
No,
like,
here
if
it
it's
is.
the same asset.
Here it is right here. A hard
There you
fork
go.
means you split the chain. A soft fork, it makes it backwards compatible. So essentially, it's not a
There we go.
fork. It's an upgrade. It's reintroducing code. But the chain lives on as is, just with these new changes implemented. Which
Beautiful.
It's a
that's it
spork.
right there.
It's a spork.
It's a spork.
It's a spork. Oh my god, dude! The Bitcoin spork is coming.
I love it.
That's incredible.
We should run with that.
Do we think that Bitcoin can compete with Ethereum when it comes to smart contracts? Obviously, Bitcoin's the king of chains, but do we think that they would give ETH a run for their money on the DeFi side?
On L2s, yeah.
On
not
L2s,
not on
yeah.
mainnet. Yeah, and that's a big part of this too. A lot of this stuff is to enable L2s, which you already have, right? But and again, not technical enough to know why the L2s that exist right now aren't good enough or are just not sufficient enough for whatever reason. But yeah, a big part of this fork is to power, like, supercharge L2s.
Yeah.
So
I don't know, man. Go ahead.
What were you gonna
Biggie.
say, Jacob? No. I was totally changing the subject. Sorry.
Oh, I was just gonna say it's like I think at the moment in time it's really tough to say because I feel like there's so much going on, and I think we still haven't seen our user base grow in reality. Like it's basically the same people just getting a little bit richer, and having more liquidity to play with. So like at least what I'm seeing is like we're seeing a dispersed liquidity between multiple different plays between now Ordinals, Solana, ETH, and now you have Say that's coming up on the scene. You got these airdrops, so like you're forced now. It's like your attention of like liquidity is like, all right, where should I put my money? And like now we're just adding more layers of Bitcoin. So like I'm pretty curious to see like what OGs are gonna put their money on. But like you already have like 15 billion L2s. You have Blast coming out. Like Arbitrums are very great. Well, very great. It's a good product to hold your DeFi applications on ETH, or you put your money there. You got Avalanche. There's just so many applications that seem to be a better fit at the moment. So I mean, we should get a Bitcoiner on here and have them, and like those diehard Bitcoiners, like they're a different breed. And I wish I could be a diehard Bitcoiner, but I'm not financially there. So I'm very, very curious to see if people would actually feel safer putting their money on Bitcoin than like ETH or other chains. Like, because I think the casual user is probably not going to put their money on Bitcoin. Is my 2 cents.
Man,
but I
see
could
how
be
all
wrong.
this goes. Yeah, no, I guess I'm with you. I don't know, but we'll see soon, I think. And I wonder what the time frame is ultimately. Opcat dead or alive, whatever. What is that time frame? We're going to learn a lot of it probably as soon as the mint happens, right? I think we know very little about what the actual plan is. We know that the cats themselves evolve, which is different. That's not happened on Bitcoin
I am
yet.
so curious about that, Buddha. What do you think it's gonna be?
It's
Like,
just,
is it gonna like is the line gonna be like in line with the aesthetic that we've known so far coming from Taproot Wizards, or is it gonna evolve into something that's completely different, right? Like
I
mind
think it's
blowing.
going to be different. I do. You know, like we're going to see all these cats start to get traits. They already look different from the Taproot
Right
Wizards
on.
collection. A little less cartoony, right? I mean, plenty cartoony still, but yeah, I'm expecting something pretty cool.
I got a question for you. So, what was the collection? The 666 the wizard hats, or the dead? You know what I'm talking about? They had a connection.
Oh, the shadows.
The shadows.
Yeah.
Okay. So low collection, 666 block inscription had a lot of hype behind it, right? Like I think from what I saw, it did. Maybe I'm crazy. And then it like quickly kind of died down, right? After mint,
Right.
People were fudding. It actually went from like crazy hype to kind of being fudded a little bit.
Yep.
So like where do you think this I don't want to say ranks. Yeah, what's the comparison between Quantum Cats and something like that, which was hyped, had a good dev team behind it? Yeah, give me your take on that.
That's a great question. Main difference is just those come from the Forgotten Runes team, which are fantastic. They are like, I love them. I think they're an incredible team, but they're not Udi. They're not the Taproot Wizards. And a lot of the hype around those shadows was just the potential that you can win a sub 1K ordinal. That's where the hype really came from, that if you max bid at that 0.2 Bitcoin, you had a chance to get that sub 1K. And that sub 1K was sold for 2.5 Bitcoin. So that's where the hype really came from, right? You had the chance to make $100,000 if you landed that guy. And that's why the price fell so much. It was people buying a lotto ticket, basically.
Okay, makes sense. Okay, the other question I have is, where can you swap USDC for Bitcoin? Does Thor allow you to do that, or does anybody have like a preferred place versus sending to Coinbase or a central exchange?
So I know one where I can swap ETH for Bitcoin, and maybe they let you swap for USDC.
ETH is okay.
I'll double check. Okay, so you just got to fire up your VPN, but I'll send you a link for it. You can't do it here in the States.
And Henry, one that I've used recently since when I've been swapping from ETH to Say, but I imagine they have that same service to go from ETH to BTC, is Simple Swap. The only thing is, like triple, quadruple check that you are at Simple Swap. But
can you link me in idiots?
Yeah, I'll do that. But yeah, that's been pretty seamless and easy to use. And what I like is that you don't have to sign up to anything. It just gives you a BTC address to where you want the funds sent to, and you receive them there. I'll put them.
Nice.
That's
nice.
Freaking awesome. Yeah, that reminds me a lot of this other one I'm using. So I'll send you a link to that too, just so you have options. But that's what I've been using. I just swap my ETH right for Bitcoin. It delivers right to my address, and it's pretty damn quick. So
all right, I gotta fly, my friends.
Cool.
Yeah, sorry, I'm pulling.
I didn't know,
but
Kongs could fly.
Kongs can, yeah. Genkai collection has wings in it, so yeah,
really?
Gotta fly. It's a rare trait in that particular one, but yeah, dude, had a ton of fun as always. I'm sad to miss out on the Magic Eden / whatever else we talk about, but I'll catch you next week, my friends.
Yeah, sounds great, man. I love you. Hope your day is fantastic, and I'll chat with you later on.
Good talking to you, Henry. Have an awesome day.
Later, Henry.
Draco. Bro, okay.
Always
Draco's
a pleasure.
Yeah, you're such a fucking awesome guy in Kongs, man. Love having you in there.
Yeah,
great weekend, guys. Talk to you.
Catch you soon. Guys, I'm still good for us to keep going. We got Magic Eden, and I do want to get into Say. What do you guys think?
I say we do it.
Let's fucking go. Start with Magic Eden. Let's do that. Okay. Let me get my links all organized here. But of course, Magic Eden had a very, very interesting week this week, and in the best way. A very, very big week of announcements. Starting with everything. They dropped all their announcements at once, basically. Let's see if this one's it. Well, that's part of it. Give me just a quick second. Well, I'll tell you what, I'll put this on the screen to start. Magic Eden rewards, which I think is what people are most looking forward to. Okay, so, I mean, man, there's a lot to this. Rewards on the platform. We're talking rewards similar to Blur rewards, similar to Tensor rewards, which is another Solana marketplace. So now you got Magic Eden rewards, which are the diamonds, right? So they're now going to reward Solana trading, and they're going back from the very beginning. They're rewarding all of their OG collectors traders. So starting on the Solana side, but very soon they're going to be rewarding Ethereum trading, Polygon trading, Bitcoin trading. The Bitcoin part really interests me a lot because, man, I guess right now they are the marketplace to buy, sell, trade, whatever, Bitcoin NFTs, but man, they could just totally dominate that. I mean, for forever at this point, if they're going to reward trading there. And then Polygon, I don't know of a Polygon marketplace that's done rewards yet. Maybe I'm not as tapped in there and it could exist, right? But I think that's super spicy. Say that again. Was that you, Draco?
No, that was me. They do you were saying Polygon rewards, like I think the Pluto exchange, it's called Dew, DEW. I think they do rewards.
That's right. Yep.
Yeah, I'm you already know how I feel about the points and rewards. I'm getting kind of annoyed by them, Buddha, to be honest. It's like yeah, it's just feeling very manipulative and obtuse on their end, right? But convenient to farm engagement to make sure you're going there and not elsewhere, right? And I'd love them to be just a little more straight up and clear about what those points, how those points will translate into a token, right? Which is why everybody will want to even go for the points, right?
You know what, Biggie? I agree with you. I'm going to show you something cool that I guarantee you've never seen before. I'm not gonna side rail us for too long, but for a
Show
brief
me,
period,
wizard.
and this was like early 2022 before we really crashed for the first time. We launched a marketplace at CryptoSlam called Dropping Now, and we did have a reward system in here, but I thought it was so cool, so innovative. If you sell an NFT on the platform, let's say you sell a Bored Ape, you get an NFT in 1155 that represents a percentage of all future Bored Ape sales on the platform. It's that simple. So if you are the first one, right, you get
Wow.
like 5% of every sale. Now, the more people that sell Bored Apes on the site, they get the 1155 as well. So the 5% or three, whatever the percentage is that goes for the royalties to holders, it gets split amongst those 1155s. But I thought that was a cool, really innovative way to share rewards, but without it being about points. Simply you sell and you earn on that collection going forward. That's cool, right?
Yeah, and easy to grasp to wrap your head around, you know?
Yep. Now,
Yeah, I
because
think
I'm
it's
with you.
dope,
Points get
man.
tricky.
I had no idea, and I didn't have an idea that you did that. But yeah, I actually have a kind of a different take on the points meta. I think because everyone's doing it, it's annoying. But unfortunately, like there has to be a level of gamification and speculation in the space. And as soon as we may be like pretty straightforward dudes, and like if we like it and we know straightforward, like I'm a very straightforward person, I respect that. However, I think 95% of this space isn't. It's like, again, smoke, mirrors, pipes, and dreams, and people love to be tantalized and speculation, and they love that shit. So, like, yeah, it may be a little bit old, but all in all, I think from Magic Eden, like, they had their lunch eaten from Tensor from the Solana marketplace, and Solana market degens were like, they're NFT users first. So they lost a strong core of their revenue to Tensor, and no one buys ETH mints on Magic Eden. No one really buys Polygon. Right now, Ordinal has been like their saving grace, and I think it's probably the best move ever. So, like, even though it may be annoying, but in such a competitive space, I feel like you have to provide and adapt, but provide further incentivization for them to lock down Ordinal to be the place to trade Ordinals and just lock that down, but then also regain some of the market share that they lost from Solana. Because, man, like, I don't even go on Magic Eden anymore. I do all Tensor because I've been farming for points, and I like crack devs, and like those guys are really cool and they're different from Magic Eden. But I give my hats off for Magic Eden for, like, one, being multi-chain, and two, taking the initiative to at least get some type of level of gamification to keep users interested, but also to reward past users of Solana, and then also to go in the multi-chain, because in reality, this is the stuff that we've been asking open seas for like, what, 4 years. So I think it's cool that they're willing to adapt and change and reward users one way or the other.
Love it.
Let me rephrase just a little bit, like in that regard, because I do think it's like you're right. Like like I guess the part that I find tiresome and annoying is one, the lack of clarity, and two, like they overcomplicate it, right? It's like you need to go and like this and retweet that and tell your friends and tag a friend and then make sure you're signed into this and then daily come over here and claim that. It's like I really like the way Huda just showed us like what they were doing with Crypto Slam. Simple and easy, right? Because in the end, like you get people to do all this crazy stuff, but then you're not clear in like what that translates to. And like you mentioned the Tensorians, and like they just recently had an issue with that, right? Like where I think they nerfed like a certain amount of points that people thought would count towards their bonuses or whatever. And like they basically set a cutoff date. So anything that happened before that didn't count. And like I guess the community got pretty annoyed, rightfully so, right? And again, I think it's a lack of clarity there on their part, where they're very good at tantalizing people and inciting them to jump through all these hoops and accumulate these points. But in the end, you know, if you have the potential to say, okay, well, only from this point, from this snapshot on, do these points count, or you know, like to move the goalposts, as they'd say, right? Or not be clear about how many points are going to accumulate and translate into whatever rewards are going to happen. That's where I get really annoyed, and I see a lot of these projects doing it, right? It's like, fine, like if you're going to have points, do the points, but keep it fucking simple and understandable, like that a 5-year-old can understand, because if not, it just leads to a lot of misunderstanding, and you
Biggie.
know, I
Well,
people
it's
getting annoyed.
Well, it's played out poorly too on the Blur side, right? You had people farming for months and months and months, only to find out that not only were they down from farming, right? They lost ETH on their trades, but then they didn't make enough in their Blur rewards to make it worthwhile, or they just broke even and then they regret all those losses, again that they took all along the way. So, yeah, there needs to be a different kind of clarity. This is where I wonder. Well, they're still not being clear, but they have a whole second path of rewards too with a DAO they've formed. Maybe it's not officially them, but they've partnered with this non-fungible DAO, right?
Oh yeah.
So on top of the diamond rewards now, you're getting a new token called NFT. Now, and they've not added clarity here either, but man, double rewards makes this double spicy in my opinion. So yeah, just a thing that I'm really looking forward to still getting that clarity, understanding how you get these rewards, how speculative it's all going to be. And I got to assume it's going to be very speculative all around, but interesting to see their take on it here too. A little cool bonus little piece here though. In that non-fungible DAO, they're now open sourcing their contracts, their protocols for their marketplace. They're saying people go ahead and use our code and build your own marketplaces using ours as your blueprint, which I love, man. It's just so in vein with Web3, with our ethos. It's
They're
we build
listening,
together.
right? Like they're actually listening to their users. That's very gratifying to hear.
I just love that move. I love seeing anybody going deeper Web3. And they also announced a wallet, right? And to me, this might be the best part of all. It's a cross-chain wallet, not just for collecting your NFTs, but also for swapping your tokens. So we were just asking before, where do you swap your ETH for Bitcoin or USDC for Bitcoin? You can do that in the Magic Eden wallet, which is incredible. I mean, kind of becoming a one-stop shop for everything right in the Magic Eden ecosystem. So
Yeah, I mean,
Three big announcements.
I think that's probably what I'd be more bullish on is like the cross-chain wallet, because in reality, like going back to pipes or pipe dreams and smoke and mirror, I do think like the key to adoption is having like a wallet interface where you can do everything in, and I think whoever can do that first, then do it through multiple chains and create a nice user interface where you can just transact with your crypto and interact with different chains in just one simple location, I think is probably going to win long term in terms of like, I guess, success in Web 2 and Web 3, just because like Biggie mentions, like simple, easy, that a 5-year-old can use it. And like, honestly, dude, that's just the way of everything and anything in solution selling with new tech. It just needs to be simple. If it's like 3 or 4 more steps, it's just too complicated. So, I mean, I'm actually more excited for their multi-chain wallet than the actual rewards. So, yeah, I'm bullish on it.
Excellent. Hey, we're gonna have Cats come up here too now that we got a spot.
Oh, nice.
Fuck yeah! And then we're getting
Does
into
it limit you to 4 people? Does it limit you to 4 people, Huda?
It doesn't. I was just gonna try to keep the guest list a little smaller.
Yeah.
Actually, you were not here at the beginning. I just mentioned when we had like 7, 8, 9 people up. It as awesome as that one was, and I mean it. It was so much fun chatting with everybody. Just harder to manage a show where we're all kind of riffing, like it's super casual, but hard to keep that down to an hour, which I think we're almost at 2 anyways. But anyway, yeah, I'm gonna keep like trying to limit the show to maybe 4 or 5 people at most.
Yeah.
Welcome to you, good cat, sir.
He might be tweaking his audio.
Maybe just tweaking. Guys, I cannot wait to get to say. Oh my god. Yeah, I got you, man. Loud and clear. Good to see you, man.
What's up, Cat?
Thanks. Yo, yeah, I'm on a whole different setup today, so I'm trying to figure this out. All right. Now, I just wanted to come in. I'm curious with the Magic Eden, because I just, and I can't get this answer because nobody's going to say, but how many projects are going to be dropping like when the ETH marketplace goes live? Because you know, like Bored Apes is going to be exclusive, right? But how many projects are coming with them?
I think they teased like 6 or so. Like I saw Pudgy Penguins on there, like on a screenshot. I saw.
See, I don't know if that's true though, because, well, so like Bored Apes are going to be exclusive to Magic Eden. Like they're not going to be on OpenSea anymore.
Right.
Right. So, I mean, is Pudgy going to leave OpenSea?
Possibly. Like, dude, very possibly. But that also brings me to the Frame blockchain, which Luca Netz is an investor in. And I was kind of assuming we'd see Pudgy Penguins over there. So maybe we don't know all these details yet, and I can't wait to
That's
find
what I'm
out.
curious about.
Yeah.
Because like there's been NDAs.
Draco, what's that?
That was Biggie.
Oh no, I
sorry.
said yeah that Moonbird's also partnered with Magic Eden, so I wouldn't be surprised.
Exclusive?
No, they haven't made it like an exclusive thing yet, but they've already like put out like flyers and stuff like with Moonbirds and Magic Eden. I mean, I think if this royalty enforcement does go well, I can see a lot of these communities and projects like head over to Magic Eden, right, and be exclusive with them.
Absolutely. Now, how does that play into these other L2s, like the Blast L2 that I would assume there's going to be NFT trading on, unless that's all going to still stay on Blur. But Frame is going to be an NFT trading platform, and it's all about royalties too, baked in at the blockchain level. Same with Rari, which just launched. They launched their new chain, the Rari chain, and again, royalties baked in at that level. Yeah, how can you be exclusive on OpenSea and then have these other competitor marketplaces expect to do anything? And there's no answer, right?
Yeah.
Like because
No.
we don't know. We don't know.
It's yeah.
Here's Frame, by the way, which, guys, this goes live in like 4 days. Like this came up out of nowhere, so maybe we're getting that Frame airdrop that soon too. But yeah, the Frame marketplace here.
You know who this just I don't know. There's just again, this goes to not enough users and just like it's like I don't know, man. Like, how many applications are you really gonna use? At the end of the day, we don't have there hasn't been an influx of users, and it's cool getting free tokens. But literally, once that token drops, people are like they need to have some sinks in place. You need to have like maybe some staking, or you need to have some utility, or you need to have a differentiator in your product, or else you're gonna just lose attention. And like Frame, and maybe I'm not paying close enough attention, and maybe some of these other marketplaces are keeping some of the alpha close to their vest. But I do not see enough product differentiator for me to go and like look at Frame, because like I haven't looked at Frame. I haven't even like tried to claim any of the Frame airdrop just because I'm basically afraid to connect some of my wallets in there, but like I don't have a reason to go check it out. Like at least like Magic Eden has a unique differentiator because they have ordinals and multi-chain, and they're gonna do a wallet. And you have Tensor, which now is like the Blur of Solana NFTs, and now you can long and short NFTs now without putting up liquidity, which is cool. Like they're shipping unique differentiator stuff. I'm just not seeing it with some of these newer marketplaces. Like I don't see any value for me or other users to go over there to like. I don't know how they're going to extract liquidity from these other chains long term. So like, it's tough, man.
Great point.
It's a great point. Again, especially if these other projects, the big boys, go exclusive to Magic Eden. And to your point about enough buyers, I mean, man, this always shocks me when I see it, but we're looking at just Ethereum. Unique buyers on Ethereum, it just hovers around 10K a day. It's not much. It's not much, and we've really not pulled in any new users. So to your point, man, yeah, I don't know how they all survive. The only way is with rewards. That's you got to capture the market share. Hopefully the Frame one is just shocking and massive, right? I don't think it will be, but I hope so, because to me that's the only way that they do make it. And so we'll see. Otherwise, I think this is all Magic Eden going forward. Their rewards, like they want loyalty, man, they give Blur some serious competition. They really, really do. So that's the battle I'm really looking out for now. It's Magic Eden versus Blur. I think nobody else really matters here in the short term. Maybe that's wrong. Maybe that's actually the wrong way to look at it. In the short term, a few are going to matter, but in the long term, I can't. There's something about Magic Eden that's giving me the tingles here. They're just kind of doing everything right.
Yeah, but
This is my question.
Oh, go ahead, Biggie.
Oh no, that wasn't me.
No, that's me. I wonder, like, so again, if there's only going to be a few projects, like if Bored Apes are exclusive, like I'm looking at Blur, is the 7-day volume on Blur for Bored Apes, which is 62.62 ETH, is that just Blur or is that all marketplaces?
I imagine that's just Blur.
Right. So now, if they're exclusive to Magic Eden, they won't be traded on Blur, right? I mean, so do you bring that instant volume to Magic Eden, plus the incentivization of their, farming for their token? So I mean, you're automatically just taking that crazy volume away from Blur?
It's a very real possibility. Yeah, I think so. It's a lot of money. Holy shit.
Yeah.
It's a lot of money. I don't know why in my head I was picturing it as 62.62. But no, 6,200 ETH in 7-day volume, and potentially all of that coming over to Magic Eden. Now, maybe it changes because royalties are enforced, right? And that's the difference. That volume's coming as mostly wash trades, so that evaporates on Blur. So it's less that 6,200 is coming to Magic Eden, and more that 6,200 is mostly going to go away. Potentially.
Well, that's not
right?
even the point. I guess my point is, that Blur's losing that. Like, Blur's losing the trading volume. And so now, like, again, if pudgies are coming over, like, if they're still trading on Blur, even then it splits where that money's, trading at. It's just going to be interesting to watch because they're going to incentivize the trading on Magic Eden. And I just wonder, it's just going to be fun to watch, I guess is my point. I don't own any of those anyway. Like, Valeria is going to be exclusively traded on Magic Eden. They already signed.
Right. I mean, yeah.
But I mean, they have their own marketplace too, where they're still going to, be able to do stuff. So it's just going to be interesting to see how it all shakes out.
It is. I kind of feel like part of this puzzle too is the degen stuff moving over to the fractionalized area, which is what Flooring has been building up. So you fractionalize your NFTs here, you get U tokens, but that ecosystem's getting a little more robust now because of Wasabi. So you get those U tokens, you can take them over here to, I think you can take them here to Wasabi, or maybe this is independent too. I know there is a little interplay, but then you long and short these NFTs. It's pretty freaking crazy where NFTs are going. I guess maybe it's not entirely new, but definitely degens have leveled up and they're looking for new ways to play. So yeah, Wasabi's starting to really gain some traction here. And then I saw that there's a new platform called, is it Wex or something like that? But basically it's a centralized exchange where you can trade those fractionalized assets now too. So that is an ecosystem I see growing too. All of this pulling away from Blur. So yeah, I think your point, Cats, is all of this. Blur is the big loser out of all of this. I think that's what's becoming pretty darn clear.
Yeah, I think
OpenSea's is dead.
They're already dead.
Yeah,
They're becoming the rareable. Somebody said that the other day. I think Henry said it. He's like, "Are they just going to become rareable?" And I think that's a perfect analogy. Yeah.
Yeah, Huda. I also think that I think we're maybe starting to see an early meta of like these marketplaces trying to purchase, well, not trying to purchase, or trying to have NFTs exclusive only to their marketplace, kind of similar to like the streaming wars with like Apple, Paramount Plus, Netflix, Hulu. Right. Now, like, you're going to have competing marketplaces and attention. So the best way to do that is incentivize top projects to go there, and then you reward them with tokens.
That's it. That's where it's heading. You can kind of feel it. You see it happening here already. That starts making me think of like, man, we just kind of like repeat things that have already happened. Like Orange Comet is just one that comes to mind. Orange Comet. I don't even know if they're still live. But right, they had some IP like The Walking Dead. They didn't have a ton, but again, like, this is to me like a light version of what it is. It's going to have like marketplaces with smaller offerings, but again, they're exclusive to them. So, Magic Eden with their Bored Apes, Pudgy Penguins, Valeria, whatever. OpenSea, maybe's got their own, fleet of exclusive NFTs too. But man, I do see it heading that way. And I also then wonder how sustainable that is. Valeria's got the right idea. Your own marketplace is the way to just win and not have to worry about it. So I think ultimately that's what they all need to do.
Well, I mean, it depends on the value proposition in the deal, right? Like, I don't know. You're going to start looking at if you're really competing for market share. In reality, let's say if you're able to bring Bored Ape Yacht Club, and I'm just making these numbers up, and let's say they do like, I don't know, 5 million in sales, royalties are like capped at, I'm just going to do it round numbers, like 10%, and then you get, I don't know, 1% of the trading fee. Your platform's doing pretty well, not knowing what the overhead expenses are, but if you can just capture these high volume collections, you can make pretty decent money on a day-to-day basis. Before the bull, right? And so like I imagine like these deals are for a couple of years, maybe, I don't know, and like the reward is that they get the tokens. So like you got projects that are then filling their treasury with these tokens to survive. So maybe sustainable. I look at it as like player contracts. I think you're probably going to have teams stay for as long as the marketplace is beneficial to them. So
yep. Great takes all around, guys. Man, I'm lucky to have you guys here with such, I don't know, such insight and knowledge, because you really do have it. I think we're going to get close to wrapping here, but we got to hit on my favorite thing lately, man. And I know Biggie, you too. Draco, it's cool to hear that you're in the ecosystem, but the Say NFT ecosystem is just absolutely fucking bonkers right now. I have us in the WeBump Discord here. That's what we're looking at. And I'm just going to actually scroll back because I want you to see. First off, Draco, you got a WeBump?
I don't, man. I don't. I watched from the sidelines, unfortunately.
I'm on the same board, dude.
You do it. You know what, man? I loved when they came out. I'm like, these are so fugly, and I aped like in Solana and like when their NFTs first came out. So I got some ninjas, but like, yeah, man, I don't know. I was just like, oh, it's just a grift, and I like the way they look, but I just didn't ape. So I've been watching on the sidelines for like the past month and a half, but I've been buying the tokens though. It's in my DCA bag, but I don't have any. Do you?
A WeBump, yes, and I did buy it. I bought it high. I bought it at like 1900, but it was only after sensing that we weren't close to the top for it, and kind of we're gonna get into why here. But yeah, I got it at 1900 Say, which was around like $1,000, maybe like $1,200, something like that. And then so thinking in USD value terms, like, man, that's not a lot for something that gives you what it gives you, and on screen here is what it gives you. So we're looking at their mint calendar. Now, first off, WeBump it's a launch pad, right? Their product is a platform called Lighthouse. It is a launch pad for every project has gone through them. If there's ones that haven't, I'm not aware. Part of the deal is that WeBump holders get whitelists, and I've hit on every single one. So because it's a small collection, it's a 5,500 edition collection, the WeBumps, man, I don't know if they reserve everybody, if everybody gets a slot, or if I've just gotten lucky. But here's the thing. They're not even paid mints. Most of them are free mints. So Say Punk's here, and this is going back, a week. Free mint. Say Doge, free mint. Man, a lot of free mints here that you're getting just from holding that NFT. And every day there's multiple NFTs you get to mint. Some yesterday I think I got into were paid mints, and we're going to show one of them because it's done really, really well. So at this point, I've definitely not made back what I paid into WeBump, but I think over the course of a month or two, I think it's pretty darn likely to happen. Again, just scrolling through that calendar, every mint coming on to Say, WeBump gets access to. It's pretty wild. And I can't think of an analog on another blockchain. I'm sure there have been some. But on Solana, on ETH, have there been collections or NFTs that you hold that get you whitelist to like everything that's on their launch pad?
Man.
Oh, I missed one.
No.
20 minutes ago.
I don't think so. I know Solana has a bunch of different launch pads. Like that's a value prop that some of those NFT projects bring is like, hey, we'll help you launch your NFT. But no, I'm pretty sure you get every single whitelist from WeBump, and they allocate it to all their holders because it is the first project. And like, what better way to bootstrap your community with the first OG community? and it brings so much attention to your project, and that's the best way of building a community is through other communities. So I mean, I love the idea, man. Like I'm a big fan of like the way Solana did their NFTs with like tech behind some of these NFTs, and I think Say's taking that same model. And yeah, I've just been coping on the sideline, but like for me, I'm trying to see if this will stick long term. And like I have a theory of like the three meta use cases for blockchains. If they can have NFTs, if they can have DeFi, if they can have shitcoins, it's like a very solid long-term investment. But what really holds a coin, in my opinion, is that culture of NFTs. If you can capture NFT culture, then I think you have a better chance of surviving, because you can always add in shitcoins and you can always add in like DeFi. But I feel like if you can capture that culture of NFTs, then your likelihood of surviving long term is going to last substantially. And I think this is what Say is able to capture. And I'm just like, you know, each week that goes by, I'm waiting for this to die, and it just hasn't.
Yeah, hard for it
For
to
the
die
other
when you got a
shoe to
guy like
drop.
Beanie pumping it. Like Beanie, I think onboarded everyone. I you know, at least for me, he did. But Beanie talking about it, Beanie pumping it basically every day. And it doesn't feel pumpy. It feels like him being like, guys, this is what I'm into. These are the kind of gains I'm making. This is what I think of the coin and ecosystem. And he's like, do with that what you will. And a lot have not listened. And it took me probably a month before I got in. I was buying the Say token, but I didn't get into the ecosystem of NFTs until just this past week. And I think a lot of people are going to be following that trajectory here, like real soon. I get to use the word capitulation because I love it. I think everybody's about to start capitulating
Yeah.
over here to Say. It just feels like it. Here are the 3 whitelists coming up today.
And you say
Nothing-
city.
Yeah, man. And it's like, okay, none of these are huge yet, but it's a free mint. You know what I mean? So it's like you get to just mint for free, write it out and see where it goes. Some of these are going to hit, but like Outlines yesterday, this was a hit. There's something with this
Man,
artist
did
too.
you pick one up, Huda?
I did, yeah. Now that was a paid mint.
Yeah.
It was 35 Say, but right now hanging out at 250 to 300 Say. And only got that because of WeBump.
What'd you
So-
get? What'd you buy?
Yeah, let me see if I can find him for you. He's cool, dude. They're really a cool looking project. Now the guy
Dude,
who made these is an artist behind. He's worked with some really big names. I want to say like Kid Cudi, and I think it's not actually
Yeah.
him, but like at that level, he's done art for. So these will hold some decent value. Yeah,
I
let me
think they're
find that
super
guy.
cool, man. They're very different from what we've seen so far. I don't know. I'm a fan of neon and stuff like that, and they have that look that I really do like. I was on a allow list too, Huda, and my fucking wallet just glitched out on me,
Oh,
so I had to
no.
like run to a different spot to get better Wi-Fi. I ended up paying a premium, but I'll tell you this: I was able to get a couple of rares. Because of the sniping, I just started jumping onto other, like pages further down the line, and they immediately stood out for me. I was like, these have got to
Amazing.
be different, and I was like, I'll take these. Fuck it, I'll pay the
What-
premium, whatever.
What's
And
rare?
yeah,
What's
so
rare in this collection?
I got a fish head, which are pretty rare. Like they're
Huh.
not so rare. There's like 140, but people are really vibing with the fish heads. They're really cool. Like if you look at the trait, they're like in hats. It's called fish, and it's like
Oh,
a
man.
fish head. It's really cool.
Dude, these are
You really went.
incredible.
And then the women, the chicks are also like very rare. There's only like
There's a fish
500
head.
women.
Holy shit.
Yeah, they're fucking dope.
Dude, the collection looks incredible. It's a good one. This one's a winner. So like this one, just by feel, and that's all you can do in this ecosystem right now. But Outlines feels like a collection that's going to be around like 600 soon, because 600 is just like $400. It's like not even a quarter ETH. Yeah, I see them there. Dobbs, just going down the list to say like who's who, like who is the who of this Say ecosystem. WeBump, of course, what we were just talking about. That 2,700 price, like honestly, you won't be shocked to see those at 5,000. Honestly, will not, because to qualify for all those whitelists, you just have to be delisted, right? That's it. That's the
My
requirement.
question there, Huda, that I wanted to ask you, because I'm not part of the Weebun system. I'm like Draco, watching and FOMOing from the sidelines. But one of the things that I would like to ask you is like, do they do any due diligence with the projects that they allow to mint, like somewhat of a due diligence, or at least the ones that they give whitelist to their community for? I think that'd be a nice thing.
I would
Call to action.
assume not a ton. I think they do enough, but every post that they have, every alpha post is DYOR.
Yeah.
Like it's clearly spelled out there, and they're clearly
Always.
saying, "Hey, we are launching for them. We are like, you know what I mean? They
Yeah,
frame
they're
it as a
using
very
our tool,
professional.
but it's up to you to do your DD, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Now this is again what's crazy to me. It's smaller than 5,500. It's a 4,400 edition collection. Only 44 are listed. The that percentage of unique owners, I mean, pretty fantastic, right? 3,000 unique owners in the collection. It's everybody just wants one
I
to get
love
exposure to everything. So this collection just so strong every way I look at it. Again, outlines I think is going to be great. Dob is an early community there too. I'll tell you what, I love my Dobs, but the more projects mint and the more quality projects mint, I kind of see Dobbs bleeding out. Even though they're early, even though they got a vibe, the competition is not great from. As I go in these other Discords and I see they're very active too, just like Dobbs are. But at some point, you're flipping your Dob to be able to get into some of these other ones that are also great. A little concern of mine.
Right on.
Saiyans are kind of the king. I mean, they're the one that I think fits the say culture the most. And so even at 750, like, man, I'm very tempted to sell another Dob to get into Saiyans. They have a token coming, I believe, here too. Say Gods was a mint I got in yesterday. Actually, I think I'm down on that. I want to say those were 20 say to mint. They're down at 13, so not everything's a win here. The Colony, though. The Colony is also, man, they might have been the first one, right? Is the Colony the first PFP project on Say? I believe they are.
Yeah, they are. They said that. Yeah.
Are they? I thought WeBump was.
Yes, you know what? Okay, that's a good point. I think then Colony's maybe the second. They're the first to launch, once that service was opened up to others. I know they just have some kind of significance as being like that one. Again, not maybe it's just early, but I think they came right after WeBump.
Yeah, I think they definitely have some provenance, because I think the big three is Colony, Saiyans, and WeBump right now, and then Dobbs already super cool, and like that's the one I'm kind of attracted to the most. But in reality, I think Llama's part of that team, and he's been chilling them hard. No disrespect at all. I just not a huge fan, so I don't know if I'd really want to be in Dobbs. But like if I was to buy it right now, NFT Llama.
NFT Llama, I don't know.
You remember him? He did Llamaverse.
Oh, no, okay, no shit. Yeah.
You remember Llamaverse?
Yeah.
Yeah, he TLDR, he took a break for mental health and all that stuff. But like now he's back with Say. Yeah, I think he sold it. But yeah, no, man, if I'm gonna get into a Say project, I think I'm gonna try to jump into the Saiyans, just because like Say is like their flagship, whatever they call their people are Saiyans. And plus I love Dragon Ball Z. I think it's pretty dope. But yeah, and the token also does help, because I feel like that'll attract some of the ETH folks that are eventually going to jump over.
Yep. Yeah, that's a very, very good call on all of that stuff. So I'm with you. I think I need to get into Saiyans as well. So I'm probably going to get rid of this little Dob here. And this will be my star lineup here, my Colony, my Bump, which I love my Bump, by the way. I think he's so cool.
It's awesome.
Man.
I love it's got like a cat. Is it a cat on top?
It is a cat. Yeah, man. Okay. And his skin, that rainbow skin's so cool. I'll ride with that more
super fire, dude.
Dude, it's cool.
Yeah, that WeBump's giving me FOMO. The rainbow and the cat head.
Yep. Yeah,
Biggie, when do we ape? We need to see some capitulation so we can ape in.
Well, here's the thing too, guys.
Yeah.
you gotta look at the NFTs as a Say printer. Because, and I'm just going to go on Beanie's comments, but Beanie's price target for Say is $10. So I'll cut that in half. Biggie, I might have stolen this from you, but I'll cut that in half, and 5 is my target. But man, if these things can hold their value at, let's say 500, let's say WeBump can get to 3, 4, 5,000. And then all of a sudden you're talking about a $5 token. Man, I am more than any other chain. I'm looking this as a token printer. The NFTs are cool, but the upside on the tokens got me probably wanting to get in and out of a lot of these. So I would say, so maybe that's my reason to say the sooner the better before the token price really starts moving.
I think you should
What do
have
you?
exposure to both. I would probably hold the printer. And also, if it's real, like, you know how valuable that tribal knowledge is, and then like having easy whitelist
Mm-hmm.
access
Yeah.
in the bull. So, like, I've moved, say, to a level 1 or 2. I'm still debating on like how much conviction or fiat I want to put into it, but it's now in like a steady like DCA option for me, just because if I see the valuation of, like, I think Solana can do a 10x, maybe get to 1,000.
Yeah.
There's no way this can't be like a $10 coin. And plus, dude, like, I have people, or some of the Kongs people that aren't super into Solana, that are in a say they love the user experience. And again, like, I'm really looking at how well these NFTs perform in the long term. But I would definitely hold at least one for you to get an understanding of the culture and like get that free printer, because if it is going to last and we're going to have this like cycle of liquidity between ordinals, ETH mints, Solana, and maybe say, then it's going to be a printer for you, man. Like, having that tribal knowledge is such an advantage,
Yep.
Yeah.
versus like, some of us that are in the outside looking in. But like, yeah, I don't know. But yeah,
You
I think it's smart to have exposure to the coin too, and not have your like bags just full of NFTs.
That's right.
even if it's just for farming, right? Like for all these other farms that are gonna pop up, right? So Draco, you haven't bridged over anything yet. You don't know. You don't own any say assets.
No, I actually don't own any say assets.
But,
Just the coin. I just own the coin. I was
right
gonna
on.
get into that. I really liked that thin line mint. I thought that was very unique. I've never seen anything like that on other chains, at least to my knowledge. So yeah, I don't have anything just yet. Again, like, I feel like if I jump in, it's getting a little toppy. Maybe, I don't know. I
Mhm.
just know I'm not super early.
Yep. Yeah, I think you're right. Look at the volume, by the way, yesterday on Outlines. 250,000 in
That's
sales.
insane.
That's
That's
wild.
insane. That was ravenous, man.
Yeah, and I do think that project's not done. It's just, again, the USD value is crazy. It's $145, right? I mean,
It's worth
That's
it.
when
It's
Well,
worth it, in my opinion.
yeah, what would that
that's
be
when
in
you
ETH?
really get tempted to bridge over and just go ham, right? But at the same time, we've been there before. I don't know about you guys. I've done that before, and it's death by 1,000 cuts, right? But in
Right.
the end, it's the same fucking thing. That's why it's like I'm trying to remain cautious too, and I've already bridged Draco, and I do own a couple of Dobbs and one Saiyan and a couple of outlines. But
Beautiful.
yeah, it's been really hard to stay disciplined. Be like, no, you're not going to chase over through, everything, because yeah, there's some really cool stuff happening in that ecosystem. But you wanna, I don't know. I'm also just trying to be disciplined.
I will say too, I did hear some alpha this week. I can't share the whole thing, but I do know that there may be some competition coming from a launch pad perspective. So use
Oh,
that information
interesting.
as you may.
Well, I think that's from the Saiyans, right?
I can't confirm nor deny.
Okay. Yeah. Because I think that's part of their token. I do think they've got a marketplace coming for sure,
Mhm.
which has got me moving a little, maybe more aggressively to get into that system. And look, leading up to that, here we had our biggest sale on Say to date. This was a $6,000 sale of a Saiyan. This was just maybe a day or two ago. Just what is that? 2 days ago.
Fucking
Right?
insane.
So yeah. Saiyans, I think is probably the call. So Draco, I hear you. Without confirming anything, I think I need to get my Saiyan. Does that devalue we bump? Probably does a bit, right? So gonna get interesting. If they can copy that formula, if they can give whitelists and a lot of free ones too, man, that could get very spicy. So yeah, a lot of things to consider all of a sudden here, huh?
Yeah.
I love it. I want to wrap here, but with art. We're going to wrap with some art, and it's going to be Bitcoin art because there has been something really starting to brew up there. I know everybody has felt it. But we got some big mints coming. First of all, maybe an example of some art and how it's doing over there. This collection came from, God, I'm going to forget his name, and I think Tyler doesn't have it on here. Anyway, this collection came from, I don't know, whatever. Point is, it minted at 0.005 Bitcoin, right? Shot up to 0.04 Bitcoin. Art is just starting to cook over there. It really is. It's really, really early over there, but we can see already the potential of it, the kind of gains you can make on it. And of course, art, man, everyone's an art collector these days. So it's a given that some art is going to do very well. This is a collection coming next week, and that's when I wanted to put on your radar. So this is coming from Cybersea, right? Not a huge name artist, but also the artist behind the one I was just showing was not a huge name artist. I again can't remember his name, but he had like 2,000 or 3,000 followers. So I don't think you need to be big. I think you just need to be on the right platform. And Cybersea's drop is going to be on the platform where like Harto released his golden ratio. So that platform's called Vivid. This is coming out here, I believe, this week. And there's even a pre-sale I think you can still try to get into. 400 editions, 0.01 Bitcoin, generative. It actually uses blocks, like the speed that the blocks are being processed to actually affect your output. But I also think it's a persistent piece. I think the piece changes as the Bitcoin blockchain, moves along. So maybe the gears speed up, get faster, slower, whatever. Cool looking piece, maybe some potential there. Biggest thing coming up, though, is a free mint. So no reason to not do this one. And it's one I mentioned a bunch, so I hope people at this point have already tried to get on that whitelist, at least through giveaways. But Flora Forms, again, from Harto, partnered with a museum in Austria, right? So these will have a physical presence, too. Definitely worth getting in on. 10K edition mint, again, free. And again, from the biggest, I would say the biggest artist on Bitcoin right now. So putting it on your radar. If you've been watching, I think it already is. Now, I'll drop a comment on this video after the fact for the raffle or for the giveaway. Actually, give me a minute here. I'm going to drop it in the comments. Are you going to be minting this one or going for it, though, Biggie and Draco? Again, especially because it's free.
Yeah, I saw, I think you shared it with us earlier, right? Like there was a form that you had to fill out or something. And yeah, I immediately jumped on it. So yeah, my plan is to do so, as long as it's an orderly, normal fashion. If I see that it's like first come, first serve and it's over allocated, I'm out. I'm not playing that game, period.
Yeah, fair enough. Yes. No, I think they're, it says right there, guaranteed. So perfect.
Okay.
Yeah, you get selected, you have got a white, God damn it.
Are you buying Huda? Are you buying this project?
It's free, so yeah, I'm trying to get one. I may have a reservation from having the golden ratio NFT, so hopefully I just get one regardless. But yeah, not expecting a ton of value, but again, Harto is just, on top of being the guy with maybe the biggest generative project so far, which are you familiar with golden ratio?
Yes, man. I was in negotiations with that team for Kongs, and I was trying to figure out if it was going to be a cook or not, and they were giving us lower allocations, and we just didn't get the deal done in time. But I know golden ratio.
What do you have any thoughts? Like, I'm really hoping this is the Fidenza Bitcoin in the long run. I'm hoping.
It has potential, man.
I'm here. Sorry, I was just ordering Dunkin's. Yeah, dude, I think so. I hope so. I hope so for everyone that minted it. Like, it's pretty dope. And the thing is with art, you don't know until you don't know. So, like, you mentioned that, like, everyone's an art collector now. I have actually, like, my thesis on stuff is, like, I like stuff that has utility or has, like, provenance. So I think people are starting to become more hip to that, like some of these 2022 NFTers. So I think it's a good thing.
Yeah. I degened into one and it was not cheap. It was a 0.2 Bitcoin, but it's one of the very few. I think there's maybe just 15 or so, 16 maybe. There's a very small amount that actually have the Fibonacci trait. So I grabbed one of those. This guy right here, I actually have it listed just because I don't think it'll sell. But if it does, I would go and sweep up the floor. That's mine right there. I do believe in a collection. And then seeing him come with a 10K free edition is what makes me think even more so that he is the right guy, that he knows how to build a collector base and to onboard into not just the Bitcoin ecosystem, but directly into him, right? To build his own base of collectors, I think is brilliant. And he has an ETH collection that he's moving over. He's going to teleburn it over to Bitcoin too. So I think he's doing a lot of right things here. And man, I am super hopeful about this piece here, this collection in particular. Guys,
yeah, man.
Teleburn meta, man.
Go ahead, guys.
I honestly think it's time will tell, but first mover advantage, if like public sentiment is, they crown it as like great art. I think you just got to go with your gut here. I think it's like right curve analysis with like left curve action. So maybe you take some profit and you stack at least one or two of them that you can hold one long term and have another one to flip in the bull, right? So
Yeah, I think what convinced me to buy it, it's all a gut feeling. It's weird to make big financial decisions around it, but I was thinking, okay, Sotheby's is selling rare sats. Sotheby's is selling some 1/1 art. So basically, Sotheby's is getting into the Bitcoin ecosystem. Could I picture this collection being sold at Sotheby's or Christie's one day? And the fact that I just come to yes, I could picture it, and it wouldn't like shock me. That was it. That's what got me into it. I'm like, I could picture it. I could picture this being the collection that happens with, among others, and had to pull that trigger. I do not want to miss out. So
yeah, I think from 2023 now on, it's more left curve action with right curve thinking, right? Because in reality, like a lot of stuff is going to print, but I felt like everything that I've left curved aped into with like right curve analysis, which is basically Solana for me was like my biggest win in 23 and aping in NFTs and someone doing like the airdrop stuff and just like buying the token with the FUD. I was just like, you know what? Like you just got to roll with gut because there's so much opportunity out here. Like, and you've been around for a while. Like I think gut with like right analysis and experience, I think more times than not you're gonna win versus take an L. Like you'll take an L here and there, but that's part of the game. But like all you need to do is hit one or two big and you're Gucci,
That's it. That's totally it. And it is a game and it is a lot about gut. And luckily we got guys up here who have been around the block and I think have some pretty informed gut takes, gut feelings about this stuff. So love to hear it from both of you. Any final thoughts? Any final stories? I know we haven't covered absolutely everything today, but we're at 2 hours. We're at almost
I was just going to say
hours.
that Floriform form is there's 5 winners and the supply's 10,000. So it's like going to be really hard to
Holy shit.
Wait.
I mean,
So there's how many?
I mean, I entered, but there's only going to be 5 winners off of that.
Out of that one, damn, okay.
I don't know where all the other, free mints are coming from, but yeah, when I entered on that alpha bot, I was like, man, 5 winners.
Interesting. I've got a ticket open with them for the pre-sale of this Gears one, the Deus Ex one. I'm going to ask them what other locations, where else are those 10K coming from? I'm sure there's just going to be an endless number of these
5 winners.
Projects. Yeah. Wow, dude.
It's
I
up
had
at the
not
top.
realized that. Yeah. That's crazy. Okay. I'll find out. I'll drop in the Idiots Discord, of course, but I'll also, like I said before, I'll drop in comments on the video.
Biggie, check your idiots messages and send Tickles a friend request because you want a Magic Eden beta wallet.
Oh shit! Super cool.
Shit. Fuck
Hell
yeah.
That's pretty cool. Can you farm rewards by using it right now?
Well, I don't know anything about it. I didn't win. I'm just Biggie did so.
Appreciate you, man. Thank you. Yeah. Fuck yeah, dude. I want to see what that's about.
Tickle's saying something about this Say project. I don't know.
Which Say project?
Super Tusks.
Huda.
Oh wow.
You were talking earlier about potentially doing like a daily or weekly a daily stream or more spaces.
Yep.
I was actually thinking as we're starting to get into 2020, well, later half of 2024 post halving, and we get closer to the bull, we should definitely set up a cadence more than just like a weekly basis because I feel like there's going to be a lot of cookers and I feel like we have a lot of insights in multiple different chains. I feel like the group that you have in Idiots is definitely multi-chain focused versus like single chain focus. So I think it'd be cool to start getting something on the books because I thoroughly enjoy listening to your conversations or our, like, again, this is my first time participating, but I listen in on when I can on other conversations that you're in on. And it's just, I think the conversation is, there's so much more alpha and insight than anything on spaces right now. Besides, like the Nifty show is pretty good, but other than that, it's like you got a handful of shows that are actually, good.
Yeah, I don't know that people are like so giving with their like insight too, like the projects they're looking forward to, especially the good ones. Like, man, people hoard it. They don't really, like they're gonna tell you the obvious ones. Like everyone's gonna say quantum cats are gonna be big, but nobody's talking about that Flores drop, right? Nobody's talking about like the ones that you can actually win on. So yeah, dude, I am down for like daily show, weekly show. I've got a lot of content in my future. Draco, if you want to be a part of that, I'd love to have you. And man, there's something, again, it is this group. There's something with this idiots group where it's the experience, it's the reps, it's just fucking everything. We got a lot of insight. It's time to share that with everyone. And maybe that shows up. Maybe that's a show on the upcoming. Again, shit,
Well,
it doesn't matter. Show, Slam Vision
I'm
platform.
more so selfishly trying to get more alpha from you guys. You know what I mean? Like it's like more so.
I was
It's
here
like a
for the
mind
alpha
share
too,
of
man.
all of us. Yeah. So like, I'm talking about a cadence for us to get together. Other people that want to show up, that's on them.
Yeah, I got you. Well, I'm down, dude. I am down for
Man,
absolutely freaking everything.
I absolutely agree. Back in the day, we used to do a lot more voice chats and idiots, and like as a group, and it was more of us, honest to God, learning together. Me and Miracle and Moisty used to do like Etherscan learning sessions, and we used to watch live mints together and like figure out, oh, this one's going to be a rug. Watch this, and like I learned how to read Etherscan and contracts through those guys. Like, and that's what our Discord's always been about. And over the last couple of years, I mean, even in February when we like there was at least a dozen of us in there trying to figure out how to do it, mint those honey badger ordinals. And we were all so confused together, but like that was always the purpose of the Discord, right? Like it's not about, pumping each other's back. It's literally about building each other up, helping each other learn, and, winning together, which is what makes idiots so cool. Like I'm not a part of anything else like it. So
All
I'm
right.
glad you guys are in there.
Yeah, I love that it's four idiots up here. So I want to get your guys' thoughts on something, and we'll definitely end on this. So I have built a very small but a very awesome audience already with the Inside NFTs channel at 411 now. I think I saw this morning. It's growing, and I'm going to work at it till it grows into, man, the biggest show out there. I mean, that's my motivation. That's my goal. What do you guys think about starting to bring people that watch the show into the Idiots Discord with a different kind of role, right? Like an inside NFT type role. But what do you guys think about that? Like, we've always talked about opening Idiots up in some way. Is this the audience to start opening it up to?
It's possible we could experiment with it, like just like keep them in certain channels, right? So, but yeah, I can see that.
Like, I'd say not even general to start, just a channel that's for that crowd, like this audience, along with everybody in Idiots that has access to that channel too. Like, we share so much alpha in general, and it's where the core friend group hangs out. So I don't know that would open yet, but I see something there, right? I see a way to grow the brand and for all of us to grow together to this audience. Man, everybody's so focused on Twitter, and I swear I got the head start on YouTube because I sensed it. I know it's a grind over there. I know they're not really receptive to NFTs, but yet they're gonna be. So I think us pushing on the YouTube front's gonna pay off, and again, maybe we start building that community right in our own Discord. So to be continued, I think, the discussion about that, but I do want to get your guys' opinions on it. Again, in Discord, we can keep chatting. Yeah.
I meant to share a bit of alpha. I meant to share actually some Solana alpha before we leave.
Let's get it.
So airdrops. I know we didn't talk much about airdrops, but the cat's about to be out the bag. So let me just share this before everyone else finds out about it. So over the past month and a half or so, I've been leveraging Promised Land. Okay. It's basically a farming bot that you can farm MarginFi, Camino, Jupiter, and then now they also are going to add Tensor. And I've been doing it for a month and a half. I'm in like a top 5K wallet, and I'm growing my other wallets. Elio Trades mentioned it on his last video, and he's doing a full tutorial. So it's a 2222 collection. It's like 5% listed. In reality, you need 3 NFTs to actually use the bot. One gets you rev share, second gets you access to like their strategies, and 3 gives you access to their bot. So in reality, to run the bot, you need 3 NFTs. So the collection is really 777 with 3% listed. and the founder is actually going to do a tutorial with Elio Trades, and you know how impactful Elio Trade videos can be.
What is this called?
So that's my bit of alpha that I wanted to share with you guys.
Beautiful. Yeah, this is a collection on Solana.
Draco's like, I will not say
He's
it
like,
again.
that's all you
And he
get.
dipped out.
You get me talking about it. You don't actually get the NFTs though.
No, he said it at the beginning. I think we missed it.
Gonna have to rewind
Something-
back.
Promised
Damn it.
land open, something like that.
Yeah, you said promised
No,
land.
you so basically.
You're
I'm
breaking
telling you,
up,
man,
brother.
like Elio Trades is about to do a whole tutorial on it. The floor is, I think, at 8, but man, the floor.
Draco, we keep losing you. I know you're out driving,
Like
but
right at the point, right?
I
Oh,
think it's
man.
this one right here.
Looking, which one?
Oh, I didn't share my screen. No,
Yeah,
I
I'm
didn't.
like, those are says.
Wrong
I'm
screen.
looking at.
I shared the wrong screen. One moment here. Draco, though, if you hear us, like, say the name again because we've not heard it once yet. Okay, here we go.
I've got it pulled up. It's on Magic Eden. Yeah, that's it right there. Promised
Yeah.
land.
Okay, so you need 3 of them. Damn, I don't
Floor's
think I-
9.5.
Yeah, I don't think I got the money for that. I could sell my Crypto Undead and grab 1. Which one will be better than 0? That actually might. I might do that.
All right, got you, Draco. Thank you, man. Appreciate it.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna dump this guy.
Oh, with the patch and all, huh?
He's lame. We're gonna hit up Draco in Discord and we're gonna get that alpha. But otherwise, guys, like, just rewind the show to when he started talking because he did say the name. I'm pretty sure that's the
Yeah,
collection. Sounded
did.
like he said you need 3 of them.
Yeah, it was Promised Land. Yep.
Yeah. Okay. So you need 3 promised lands to really take advantage of this bot. But with such a small collection, one should do just fine. Look at me listing live right now.
Dumping.
Floor. What was the floor on that? You can watch it.
Check.
It's
8.7.
9.5.
I'm gonna go 8.5. Let's get rid of this stupid thing.
Yeah, he just put in the Idiot's Discord too. Promised Lands.
Huda does not hesitate whatsoever. I'm
It's
gonna
good and
go.
bad.
I'm gonna have breakfast. I'm gonna think about it, and I'm gonna come back, and it's gonna be like fucking 2x.
Dude, I you know, like, I'm full throttle absolutely everything, whether it's NFTs or whatever else. It's yeah, again, good and bad. Sometimes it works out, sometimes not so much, but had some big wins just going full throttle, you know, so
Love it.
we'll keep doing it till it stops working or till I die. Do it till I die. All right, guys, I'm going to wrap it. Quantum Cats, hopefully today we find out winners of the free mint. Cross those peens. I hope that's me. Anything else, guys? You guys have anything going on this weekend?
Just some.
Just chilling?
Yeah,
Maybe
that
we'll do
is
a
the
little
plan,
degening
sir.
together.
yeah.
I like that.
I'd be down.
Good stuff. Cats, anything on your end?
Draco just confirmed that in the Idiots. That was the right collection.
That was the right
No,
one.
man, my wife and oldest are out all day today and tomorrow with cheer stuff, so I'm hanging with the twins all weekend.
Beautiful. Beautiful. Sounds very nice. Well, guys, we'll all be chatting throughout the weekend, of course, because we're all idiots in our little server. And again, guys, thinking of a way to bring the general audience into idiots. So we'll keep thinking about this here. I guess it's a wrap, guys. Tomorrow, be back with a 5-minute video hitting on the market, hitting on all the latest happenings. Remember, guys, if it's happening in NFTs, I'm bringing you inside. Till the next time, we will see ya.
Take it easy.